Chapter 369. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. On the surface, she still looked at Su Jiran calmly. She couldn't panic. It was impossible for Su Jiran to know that she was Baiya. All of her surgeries were done in Shen Yi's secret base. Su Jiran couldn't find her at all. "Mr. Su, you must have mistaken me for someone else." "I didn't undergo plastic surgery," Wu Nian replied. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly, but it was unusually distant and indifferent. Su Jiran sat down on the other side of Wu Nian. He looked at her and gritted his teeth. "Shen Yi told me everything. Do you think it's necessary to keep pretending? I'm curious. What did Mr. Shen tell you?" Wu Nian looked straight at him. She couldn't feel guilty. If she did, she would give herself away and waste all her previous efforts. "He was the one who saved you back then. He took away my technical backbone and developed the antidote to save you. You even asked for plastic surgery because you wanted to take care of your son, Gu Yan," Su Jiran said with certainty. Wu Nian narrowed her eyes. "Developed the antidote to save me? What do you mean?" Su Jiran paused. He looked at Wu Nian's expression and frowned. "Did you lose your memory or hypnotize yourself?" Wu Nian rolled her eyes. It seemed that Shen Yi didn't tell him anything. It was all his own speculation. "I didn't lose my memory or hypnotize myself. I clearly remember everything in my life," Wu Nian said confidently. "Mr. Su, you really mistook me for someone else. Then why did you go to Gu Lingqing's side?" Su Jiran asked. "That's my business. I don't have to report it to you," Wu Nian said coldly. She stood up and looked at Alan. Her eyes softened. "Let's go. You're really not Baiya?" Su Jiran didn't believe her. "It's up to you to believe it or not." Wu Nian took the initiative to hold Alan's arm. "Can you swear?" "If you lie, you will never be able to be with Gu Lingqing," Su Jiran chased after Wu Nian and said. Wu Nian raised his hand in frustration and placed it on the side of his face. "I swear, I'm not Baiya. If I lie, I'll never be able to be with Gu Lingqing." Wu Nian put down his hand. "Is this okay? I hope Mr. Su will not pester me anymore. This will affect my relationship with my boyfriend." Su Jiran's gaze fell on Alan's face, and his eyes dimmed. Baiya was a stubborn woman. When she loved Gu Lingqing, there was no other man in her eyes. She would not swear against her conscience. She was not good at lying. Perhaps she really wasn't Baiya, and his probing was completely useless. Su Jiran sat alone on the beach with a heavy heart. "Baiya, where are you?" When he found her, he only wanted to make it up to her and not hurt her anymore. Wu Nian and Alan returned to the car, where Lu Shuang was waiting for them. Wu Nian realized that Alan had a really high EQ. Even if he cared about some things, he would not ask if it would burden others or make them unhappy. It was easy to get along with people like him, but he was not stupid. Not asking didn't mean that he didn't know. He had a sharp insight and a wise brain. Everything would sink into his brain until his brain decided that it was time to end. He would end it without hesitation, ignoring the other party's persuasion to stay. And it was easy for a woman to fall in love with someone like him. Because of his good upbringing, tolerance, and gentleness, it was not easy for a girl to find a boyfriend after a breakup. Because the starting point was too high, it was difficult for a man to achieve it with him as the standard. Lu Shuang sat in the back seat. He looked at Alan's expression. He was always smiling. He then looked at Wu Nian's expression. She was also very calm. "The more I look at you, the more compatible you two are." Lu Shuang sighed. Wu Nian didn't say anything. He looked out the window. The sunlight was just right. It passed through the gaps between the leaves, forming mottled spots of light that moved with the wind. Soon, they arrived at the entrance of Stephen's villa. Wu Nian saw some people rowing a wooden boat. "What are they doing?" Lu Shuang asked, confused. "I think they are preparing for a sea burial," Alan explained. They stepped into the room together. Lusha and Olga were lying on the table quietly, as if they were sleeping peacefully. Flowers were placed around them, and sad music was playing. Stephen looked at his children calmly. Wu Nian walked up and stood beside Stephen. For Christians, there is no death, only eternal happiness. For Buddhists, death is in this world. After atoning for one's sins, one can attain Tao, become an immortal, or enter the cycle of reincarnation. Stephen looked at Wu Nian and said, "They were still alive and kicking yesterday, but today they are lying here motionless. After tomorrow, we will never see them again. We always hurt the people closest to us. Because we can only hurt those who truly care about us. Why do we have to destroy ourselves, give up, and be sad and miserable to hurt those who love us?" Wu Nian said in a deep voice and looked at Stephen. Stephen looked at Wu Nian with reddened eyes. Wu Nian smiled. "You should try your best to be happy. Don't let your children worry. Maybe you should find a wife and have a child. Make your life busy and meaningful. When you die, you can recall the past and remember what happened every day. My daughters don't want me. Why would they worry about me?" Stephen said sadly. "They don't want you anymore. Why should you feel sad for those who don't want you? Taking care of your health is the most important thing. You still have to keep watch tonight. I think you should rest for a while now," Wu Nian suggested. Stephen nodded. "I'm really tired. By the way, I have placed the painting you saw on the ship. When you leave tomorrow, my butler will give it to you." "Thank you, Mr. Stephen. I should be the one thanking you. You cleared my son's name and found the murderer of my daughters." Stephen yawned. "I'm tired. I'll take a nap." "What night watch?" "They didn't want to see me when they were alive. They don't want to see me even more when they are dead." He walked away. Lu Shuang tilted his head and looked at Stephen's back. He is really a strange old man. His words are like rain and wind. Only he knows how sad he is. "I'm a little sleepy too. I'll take a shower and then go to the study to sleep," Wu Nian said tiredly. "Okay. I'll accompany you," Lu Shuang said readily. Wu Nian nodded. "I need to borrow someone's room. Help me guard the door." Lu Shuang made an okay gesture. Wu Nian carried his clothes and knocked on Stephen's door. "Hello. Can I borrow a room with a bathroom to take a shower?" Stephen pointed at the one near the stairs. "Thank you." Wu Nian and Lu Shuang went in. Chapter 370. Why? Gu Lingqing asked in a deep voice. "Just do what I tell you to do. I'll leave the room key on the doorknob. Don't blame me if you miss this opportunity," Stephen said and hung up the phone. Gu Lingqing frowned and bent his arm. He glanced at the watch on his wrist and went upstairs. Stephen walked to the door of the room he stayed in before and knocked. It was Lu Shuang who opened the door. "Can you do me a favor?" Stephen asked. "Oh, sure, but you have to wait for me for 10 minutes, Lu Shuang said straightforwardly. Stephen looked troubled. "To tell you the truth, one of my maids ran away and I need to change my daughter's clothes. There's only one maid and she can't do it alone. We're men. If you don't want to help, I'll think of another way." "It's my duty," Lu Shuang agreed. "Then follow me." Stephen turned around. Lu Shuang looked inside and then at Stephen. He locked the door and closed it. With a thud, Stephen was shocked. He came back to his senses and pushed the door open. He pretended to be surprised and looked at Lu Shuang. "Why did you lock the door?" "Xiao Nian is taking a shower inside," Lu Shuang explained. "Oh, right. Let's go." Stephen pointed to the front. Lu Shuang turned around and Stephen followed closely behind. A key was hung on the door. Gu Lingqing knew what Stephen was up to. He took the key and opened the door. He didn't go in but stood at the door and lit a cigarette. He held the cigarette with his slender fingers and took a deep puff. He exhaled thick smoke and the smoke blurred his cold and resolute face. "Cool girl," Wu Nian shouted from inside. Gu Lingqing turned around and stood at the door, looking at her in the mist. Wu Niangang came out of the shower. Her hair was still wet. She dried her hair with a dry towel and wore a white dress. The water at the ends of her hair dripped on her shoulders, back, and chest. Her hair became transparent. Gu Lingqing thought of the young girl in the misty rain in Jiangnan. Her eyes were as clear as water and her skin was as smooth as jade. He couldn't help but be fascinated by her. Wu Nian saw Gu Lingqing instead of Lu Shuang. His passionate eyes made her feel hot. "Is this the room you stayed in before?" Gu Lingqing pursed his lips and nodded. His eyes were still focused on her face. Wu Nian felt uneasy. "Sorry, I borrowed your room to take a shower. Did you see my friend? You and your friend can stay in this room today." She was called over by Stephen. "His daughter needs someone to change," Gu Lingqing said. "Oh, I'll go and help." Wu Nian wanted to run away. She hugged her clothes and rushed out. "Wait," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian stopped in her tracks. She took a deep breath and turned to look at him. He was holding a piece of her clothes in his hand. She had left in a hurry just now and didn't even know she had dropped it. Wu Nian reached for her clothes awkwardly. Gu Lingqing retracted his hand. Wu Nian didn't get it. She paused in disbelief. Her almond-shaped eyes widened as she looked at him. Gu Lingqing placed the clothes in her hand and said meaningfully, "You're always forgetting things. It's okay if you lost your clothes. You just have to buy more. Don't lose anything important." "I didn't," Wu Nian retorted. She thought for a moment and added, "I just don't think it's good if my boyfriend sees it." Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened. "What are you thinking? You don't think it's good if your boyfriend sees it?" Wu Nian, she didn't want to talk to him anymore. Gu Lingqing was usually a man of few words. But when he spoke, it was hard to resist. She wasn't his match every single time. "What I think isn't important. What's important is what others will think," Wu Nian said. She didn't give him a chance to speak and ran away. Gu Lingqing looked at her back view and his gaze deepened. Wu Nian went downstairs. Stephen was shocked to see her. "I'm here to help." "Where's Lu Shuang?" Wu Nian asked. Stephen pointed to the room downstairs. Wu Nian went in to help. When Stephen saw Gu Lingqing, he ran over immediately. "Are you stupid? I created an opportunity for you. Why did you let him out so quickly? You should pretend to be locked inside so that you can continue to be alone." "That's a little low," Gu Lingqing replied coolly. Stephen looked like he suddenly realized something. "Now I know why you're still single. How can you get a woman if you don't have some tricks up your sleeve?" "Who said I'm single?" Gu Lingqing looked at Stephen from the corner of his eye. His gaze was calm but serious. He didn't seem to be joking. Stephen was shocked. "Are you trying to cheat on me? That's not good. I won't help you chase Miss Wu anymore. There aren't two boats. It's just that my boat has lost its direction. I don't know which way is back. I'll solve my own problem." "Thanks," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He walked past Stephen. Stephen was stunned. He knew that there was a woman in Gu Lingqing's heart. Because of this woman, he wasn't interested in any other women. He didn't even look at them. Those who didn't know him would say that he had high standards. Those who knew him would know that he was loyal. But why would the infatuated Gu Lingqing be interested in Wu Nian? Just where did it go wrong? Stephen didn't call for his relatives or friends. Perhaps in his eyes, his daughter's deaths weren't honorable. They wouldn't be the laughing stock of the upper class if they didn't make a sound. The police took Kathy away. Her boyfriend left with the police. At night, she and Lu Shuang stayed in the room that Gu Lingqing used to stay in. When she walked past the living room, she saw Gu Lingqing, Alan, Stephen and Su Jiran playing cards. The four of them were sitting at a table. Something didn't feel right. Su Jiran looked at her and smirked. "Miss Wu, let's play a few cards. If you win, it's on you. If you lose, it's on me. Even if you agree, Mr. Gu and Mr. Stephen won't agree. Am I right, Alan?" Wu Nian looked at Alan gently with a hint of playfulness. "If they agree, I'm fine with it." "Don't worry, I'll let you win on purpose," Alan said straightforwardly. "Then let Miss Wu play for you for a while. What do you think?" Stephen said to Alan. Alan looked at Wu Nian lovingly. "Do you want to play? Come here. I don't know how to play. I'll definitely lose a lot of money." Wu Nian didn't want to go over. She felt that it was the center of a storm. Your man can afford to lose. If you don't know how to play, I'll teach you. Alan stood up, held Wu Nian's hand and pulled her over. Wu Nian. Chapter 371. If she was going to die, wouldn't she admit that she was Baya? Wu Nian bit the bullet and sat across from Su Jiran, on the left of Gu Lingqing. "We're here for a 5-card stud. Do you know the rules?" Stephen asked kindly. "Yes. I don't really know," Wu Nian laughed dryly. "It's okay. We don't really know. $10 for our hand. Every call, at least $10. There's no upper limit," Stephen said sneakily. Wu Nian knew it wasn't a small game when he said no upper limit. However, she actually had an advantage. In a 5-card stud, apart from luck, it was also a psychological game. "I hope everyone can go easy on me," Wu Nian said. "Ha ha ha ha." Stephen laughed wildly and started to deal. Wu Nian didn't look at her hand. She had an ace on her face, a king on Gu Lingqing, a j on Su Jiran, and a king on Stephen's face. They didn't have many people, so they removed 123,456 cards, leaving only 78,910 JQKA. Every time Wu Nian called, she would call the lowest. In the end, Wu Nian's 4 cards were AQJ10, and Gu Lingqing's was KKQQ. Stephen didn't have a good hand, so he gave up on the 3rd card. His 3 cards were 10. 7. Q. Su Jiran's card was K101010. Wu Nian took a look at his trump card and put it down without a change in expression. 3 tens, talk, Stephen said. Both of you have a king. One of you has a king, and the other doesn't have a king. I'll bet 10,000, but I don't have that much cash with me. Can I use a check? Su Jiran asked. Don't use a check. Transfer $100,000 to my account. I have cash here, Stephen said. Sure. Su Jiran entered his private bank and transferred $100,000 to Stephen. Stephen received it and went to get the money. Gu Lingqing closed the cards. Wu Nian smiled slightly. Does Mr. Su think $100,000 is enough? I'll take $1 million. Su Jiran paused for a moment and stared at Wu Nian. There are already 3 kings on the surface. Are you sure you want to play that many? Mr. Su can doubt that my trump card is not K. Just give me $1 million. Wu Nian said calmly. Su Jiran furrowed his brows and glanced at Wu Nian before turning to look at Alan. Alan smiled gently, and there was nothing strange on his face. Are you sure you can let your girlfriend do this? Su Jiran asked Alan. I can afford to lose, as long as she's happy, Alan said dotingly. Gu Lingqing looked at Alan coldly. Her seemingly calm eyes hid a storm. She retracted her gaze and her face became clearer. Su Jiran smiled evilly and closed the cards. He looked at Wu Nian and said, You're a girl. I don't want to scare you. You win the first deck. Thank you. Wu Nian showed Su Jiran her trump card. It was only an 8. Su Jiran sneered. Stephen came over and saw that everyone had closed the cards. He asked curiously, "Who won?" "Wu Nian, what's your trump card?" 8. Amazing. Women are not inferior to men, Stephen praised. Su Jiran threw a stack of cards to Wu Nian. "You're willing to bet and you're willing to lose. The second deck, the third deck, and the fourth deck." Wu Nian's cards were not good. She closed the cards on the third deck. She watched as their funds flowed on the table. None of the cards were less than 10,000. The fifth deck. After 5 cards, Wu Nian's card was JQ910, Gu Lingqing's was 10 and 8203 QJK, Su Jiran's was 88 KK, and Stephen stopped following when she had 2 cards. It was 8K. Su Jiran said, 10,000. Gu Lingqing closed the cards. Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing looked back at her. His eyes were dark and deep. She felt that Gu Lingqing was deliberately letting her win. Every time she followed, he would stop. When she stopped, she saw him playing with a murderous aura. 1 million, Wu Nian said. Su Jiran frowned. "You're playing with your own money?" Wu Nian smirked. "To you, you're playing with your own money. To me, it has nothing to do with me if I lose. If I win, it's mine. Tell me, am I playing for real?" A look of disgust flashed past Su Jiran's eyes as she looked at Alan. Alan shrugged. "The woman I like is indeed very smart." Su Jiran smirked. 1 million, I'll open you. Wu Nian flipped over her hand. It was a straight with 8, 89, 10 JQ, while Su Jiran only had 2 pairs. She lost. Su Jiran smiled. "Beautifully won. I'll transfer the money to you directly. Give me your account number." "My phone number is..." Su Jiran used the cards to lay out a series of numbers on the table. Wu Nian did not stand on ceremony. She directly sent Lu Shuang's account number to him. When Su Jiran transferred the money, he saw that it was Lu Shuang's name. He frowned and looked at her. "Send it to her." "We're very close," Wu Nian explained. Su Jiran pursed her lips, transferred the money, and showed the text to Wu Nian. "Alan, I don't want to play anymore. I'm a little sleepy." Wu Nian turned her head and said to Alan. Alan kissed her forehead. "Go and rest. Good night." Wu Nian kissed Alan's forehead too. "Good night, darling." Su Jiran frowned even more. The more he interacted with Wu Nian, the more he realized that she was not Baiya. He looked at Gu Lingqing from head to toe. Gu Lingqing looked down. His expression did not change even if Mount Tai collapsed in front of him. It was as if the surrounding environment had nothing to do with him. He was cold and indifferent. Su Jiran's heart gradually turned cold. He tried again and again. In the end, the answer was not what he wanted again and again. When Wu Nian returned to the room, Lu Shuang was looking at the text message on his phone in surprise. "Xiao Nian, it's so strange. I suddenly have $1 million in my bank account. What should I do? Should I go to the bank and return it to the owner? That's the gift I won just now. You'll need a lot of money in the future when you go to Country D. You want it? I don't need it. Shen Yiyan just gave me $10 million. I'm not short of money. You should keep it with you. You can't be a doctor, let alone a psychologist. Your income is low, and you can't use the money you used before." The more Lu Shuang said, the more worried he became. "I'll be a home tutor in Gu Lingqing's family in the future. I don't have any expenses. Forget it. Gu Lingqing is a very unpredictable person. Maybe you'll be fired again soon. I was going to leave you $2 million when I left." Wu Nian held Lu Shuang's hand and said with certainty, "I won't be fired this time. I promise." There was a bang outside. Wu Nian and Lu Shuang were both shocked. What's going on? Did Stephen set off the firecrackers? Lu Shuang asked in confusion. Wu Nian had a bad feeling. She was playing cards with Steven just now, and it didn't seem like Steven set off the firecrackers. She opened the door and looked at the door. Chapter 372. Find the person in the photo and kill the rest. The leader ordered fiercely. Wu Nian's heart tightened. She saw 10 masked men running upstairs. She had a rough idea. Those people were either looking for her or Lu Shuang. Then, the rest would be in danger. She looked at Gu Lingqing subconsciously. Her eyes were filled with worry and heartache. Gu Lingqing took a step forward as fast as lightning. He snatched the gun from the leader's hand and aimed it at the leader's head. Tell your men to leave. Otherwise, I'll blow your head off. The leader of the group looked at Gu Lingqing maliciously and roared, kill him. As soon as he gave the order, his men opened fire. Wu Nian locked the door. Xiao Nian, what happened outside? Lu Shuang asked worriedly. I don't have time to explain. Help me push the cabinet against the door, Wu Nian said anxiously and went to move the cabinet. Lu Shuang immediately went to help. Wu Nian rushed to the window and looked outside. It's not high here. It should be fine to jump down with a quilt. Cool girl, you jump first. Why? Lu Shuang didn't understand. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of knocking on the door was getting louder and louder. Jump, Wu Nian said anxiously. She took the quilt and wrapped it around Lu Shuang's body. Lu Shuang jumped out of the window. She quickly wrapped herself in the quilt and jumped down without hesitation. After rolling on the ground and standing up, she held Lu Shuang's hand and ran forward. Xiao Nian, what happened? Even if I die, I want to die knowing why. Lu Shuang said worriedly. I don't know. Suddenly, dozens of people rushed in and shot with machine guns. Wu Nian said in a deep voice. Then Gu Lingqing. Lu Shuang's heart skipped a beat. Looking at Wu Nian's serious face, he didn't continue. Wu Nian pulled Lu Shuang to the back of the villa and had her hide behind the Boston ivy. No matter what happens, don't come out, okay? Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's hand and asked with red eyes, where are you going? Nothing can happen to you. Xiao Bao is still waiting for you. If both Gu Lingqing and I die, please take care of Xiao Yan, Wu Nian said. Lu Shuang's tears flowed out instantly. Death, this word, was too cruel. Don't go, Lu Shuang begged. Remember to hide. You are the hope of all of us. Wu Nian peeled off Lu Shuang's hand and resolutely disappeared into the darkness. The gunshots in the living room were getting more and more intense. After Gu Lingqing grabbed the gun, the leader's men directly killed the leader. After Gu Lingqing killed a few masked men, they used force to suppress them. Dozens of submachine guns were aimed at Gu Lingqing. The sofa that Gu Lingqing was hiding on was already full of holes. The leader was used as a meat shield, so there were probably hundreds of holes on his body. The group of people stood in an airtight formation and moved forward inch by inch. They were well trained. The others were also in danger and couldn't move. Once they showed their heads, they would definitely be shot into a hornet's nest. The masked men also brought guns and cannons, which were hundreds of times more lethal than submachine guns. The sofa, the table, and the wall couldn't withstand it. Seeing that they were all going to be wiped out, a car rushed in and hit the people holding the guns and cannons. The position of the muzzle was deviated, and the bullets hit the upper floor. The wall upstairs was penetrated, and the stones fell down. Wu Nian drove the car and continued to rush in. The masked men fled in all directions and were washed out of the formation. Gu Lingqing rolled back, got the gun, and bombarded the enemies. Wu Nian stepped back. A bullet came in from the side window, broke the window, and shot into Wu Nian's shoulder. She groaned, continued to step back, and rushed in again. Gu Lingqing saw the right time and fired again. In just 5 minutes, there were only 5 or 6 of the more than 20 masked men left, and they were running in all directions. When Wu Nian stepped back again, a masked man jumped in front of the car, aimed at her head, and shot. Wu Nian leaned on the steering wheel vigilantly. The bullet passed through the top of her head, and the window was broken. The masked man aimed at Wu Nian's head and fired the second shot. Seeing this, Gu Lingqing couldn't bear the danger and threw the gun at the masked man. The masked man's head was hit, and he fell to the ground. Gu Lingqing was worried about Wu Nian, and she was confused. She ran towards Wu Nian. The masked man on the ground didn't faint. He raised the gun and aimed it at Gu Lingqing's head. With a thud, Gu Lingqing turned around subconsciously. The masked man on the ground was killed. He looked in the direction of the bullet. Alan raised the gun and smiled at him. Gu Lingqing nodded sharply, rushed to the car, opened the door, and saw Wu Nian's right arm was dyed red with blood. He shouted in distress, "Wu Nian!" Wu Nian heard Gu Lingqing's voice. He looked up, and his face was pale. He forced himself to pull himself together. "I'm fine. Squat down." Gu Lingqing used a commanding tone, picked up the masked man's gun on the ground, and rushed in. Bang! 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 The people inside stood facing each other. Su Jiran killed a masked man. Gu Lingqing directly rushed in and killed 2 of them. Keep the last one alive. Su Jiran slowly moved the gun to Gu Lingqing. He squinted his eyes, and a cold light burst out. It was malicious and resentful, and murderous. Alan saw something strange. He looked at Su Jiran in surprise. The position of the gun also changed, and it was aimed at Su Jiran's arm. He even turned on the infrared. Su Jiran saw a red dot on his hand, and he swept a sharp glance at Alan. There was a flash of displeasure in his eyes. Alan still smiled with great self-restraint. The masked man took the opportunity to aim at Gu Lingqing, who was exposed in the middle of the living room. Gu Lingqing was vigilant, and the gun was also aimed at the masked man. The masked man frowned. He knew he couldn't run away, so he pointed the gun at his temple and shot. He died on the spot. Gu Lingqing threw the gun away and went back to the car. He carried Wu Nian out and shouted nervously, "Where's Lu Shuang?" "The medical kit." Alan also ran to Wu Nian, "Xiao Nian. Is the crisis over?" Wu Nian asked Alan weakly because he had lost a lot of blood. "The enemies have all been annihilated." "The crisis is over," Alan said with a distressed tone. "Lu Shuang is behind the ivy outside the villa. Take care of her. She has never encountered something like this before," Wu Nian said softly. "You seem to encounter it often. You're the only one who got hurt." Alan's words were self-blaming, but his tone was doting. Wu Nian smiled and said jokingly, "I did it on purpose. Otherwise, how could I make you care about me?" Wu Nian felt the force on her waist increase. She pursed her lips and looked at Gu Lingqing. He didn't look at her directly, as if he didn't do it on purpose. He walked into the room, put her on the bed, and looked down at her. "You need to hurt yourself in exchange for his care. Do you really need this kind of care?" "I'm joking. Even if I wasn't hurt, he would still care about me," Wu Nian explained. Chapter 373. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat and her breathing became nervous. She explained, "In fact, I didn't mean to get hurt. I didn't see anyone shooting at me. I'm not stupid." "Then don't do stupid things. Why did you risk your life to come back?" Gu Lingqing gritted his teeth. His eyes were red and his suppressed emotions were about to explode. God knew how scared he was when he saw that it was her who rushed in. His mind went blank for a moment. Wu Nian lowered her eyes. Her long eyelashes covered the emotions in her eyes. Why did she risk her life to come back? She and Lu Shuang could have run away. I don't want to hear it," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He stood up and looked down at her. He knew that her answer would not be what he wanted to hear. He turned around coldly and walked out of the door. He stood under the old locust tree and lit a cigarette. His hands were trembling because of the fear. He took a deep puff and the thick smoke came out. It took him so much effort to find her. It took him so much effort to find her. Can I borrow a cigarette? Stephen walked to Gu Lingqing's side without him noticing. Gu Lingqing gave Stephen a cigarette. Stephen lit it and took a puff. He looked at Gu Lingqing in the smoke. I haven't painted for 10 years. Do you know why? Gu Lingqing looked at Stephen. I don't have any inspiration. Or perhaps, I don't need to express my emotions through painting. My emotions are worn away with time. Bingo, no one knows me better than you. You're absolutely right. Life is easy and plain. Even if I rack my brains, I can't draw anything that has life in it. Even if I do draw, I'll just tear it up and not draw at all. But now, I have the urge to draw again. Stephen sighed. Because of the accident? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. It is one of the reasons. In the gunfight just now, I felt like I was dead. I thought I was going to die when I came back to life. I saw that girl's determined eyes. She was not afraid of death, but she was afraid of other people dying. Stephen recalled. Gu Lingqing knew that the girl he was talking about was Wu Nian. Thinking of how Wu Nian was unafraid of death, he felt a dull pain in his heart. He turned his face away. Childish and ignorant. If it wasn't for her, we would all be dead. Don't be angry at her. Not many people have her courage. In other words, she and her friends could have escaped, but she came back to save us. Doesn't that mean that there are people among us who she thinks are more important than her? Stephen comforted. Gu Lingqing looked at Stephen deeply and saw Alan coming with Lu Shuang from the corner of his eyes. He asked solemnly, Is the first aid kit ready? Did you call the police? The ship is ready. Everything is ready. Let's go in and see her. Before Stephen could finish his words, he saw Gu Lingqing walk in. Lu Shuang ran to Wu Nian. When he saw the blood on Wu Nian's arm and clothes, tears rushed out of his eyes. He knelt on the ground in front of the bed and begged, Xiao Nian, don't die. Wu Nian was just resting with her eyes closed. When she opened her eyes, she said to Wu Nian, Don't be afraid. I won't die. It's not a fatal injury. It's just my arm. Just take out the bullet. I will recover in a week. Don't cry. Okay, I'll do it now. I remember there's anesthetic. Lu Shuang found the anesthetic from the first aid kit. My right arm is injured. Use the anesthetic method of brachial plexus block, Wu Nian reminded him. Lu Shuang nodded and injected the anesthetic. It took 1 minute to anesthetize the arm. Lu Shuang untied Wu Nian's sleeve and washed it with disinfectant while tears flowed down his face. Don't cry. It's useless to cry. Wu Nian said in a deep voice. He used his left hand to wipe Lu Shuang's tears. Lu Shuang sniffled. Just now, Su Jiran said that the photos found in those people's hands are mine. Those people are here to target me. If it weren't for me, you guys would be fine. All the karma didn't start with you, and it won't end with you. In the end, you are just an innocent person. These people are organized and disciplined. You can't provoke them. Do you understand? Wu Nian comforted him. Lu Shuang nodded and wiped his tears with a napkin. He pressed Wu Nian's arm a few times and asked, Can you still feel it? Wu Nian shook her head. Lu Shuang took the bullet out of her arm. He treated the wound, bandaged it, and applied some medicine. Are we leaving now? You still have to go to the hospital. It won't be good if you have a fever at night. Lu Shuang reminded her. Master, is it convenient for you to go to the sea at night? If it's not convenient, don't force me, Wu Nian said politely. I'll ask. Lu Shuang went out to look for Stephen. Stephen was still smoking under the old locust tree. Well, although my friend had the operation, I'm worried that she will have a fever. Can you send us back at night? Lu Shuang asked politely. Of course. I'll arrange a car to send you to the dock now, Stephen said readily. Also, it's all because of me that you almost died. I'll pay for your losses here. Lu Shuang said apologetically. Forget it. I have the money. See you on Saturday night, Stephen said in a deep voice. See you on Saturday night, Lu Shuang replied. When Lu Shuang went back, Gu Lingqing was still standing at the door. He looked at the two people in the room with a secretive look. He pursed his lips, and his eyes were gloomy. Alan held Wu Nian's left hand and said pitifully, "You saved my life again. We're in the same boat. It's not really a rescue." Wu Nian's voice was gentle like warm water. Alan looked at her with a burning gaze. He lowered his head and kissed her forehead. "You're my hero." Hero. Alan actually used this word to describe her. He felt weird. Alan smiled gently. "I'm staying here today. You and Lu Shuang leave first. Keep in touch by phone. I'll look for you tomorrow. I have something to give you." Wu Nian nodded. "Keep in touch by phone." Lu Shuang walked past Gu Lingqing and said to Wu Nian, "Mr. Stephen said we can go." Okay. Wu Nian got off the bed by herself. Alan carried Wu Nian and walked outside. Gu Lingqing looked at the three of them passing by and said in a deep voice, "The people who came are from an organization called Formless. The big boss behind the organization should be Shinian." Lu Shuang looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. "You're saying that Shinian sent people to catch me and kill you? How is that possible? Did Shinian ask me to facilitate this cooperation? I can only tell you this. Whether it was Shinian who sent people or Shinian's men who decided to do it themselves, I don't know," Gu Lingqing said coldly. Chapter 374. As soon as the photo was sent, Shen Yiyan called. "What's going on?" Shen Yiyan asked sharply. "What's going on? Shouldn't you know it better than me?" "Shen Yiyan, if you don't like me, you can ask me to get lost. I promise I'll go far away and won't annoy you in front of young Master Shen. It's fine if you send people to arrest me, but why did you kill my friend?" Lu Shuang questioned anxiously. "I'll give you an explanation. I will give you an explanation for this matter." Shen Yiyan hung up the phone after he finished speaking. Wu Nian looked at her and analyzed. The possibility of Shen Yiyan doing it is low. It might be one of his subordinates. Lu Shuang's eyes turned red. She looked at Wu Nian and said, "He's the boss of that organization, and his subordinate wants to kill me. Even if it's not Shen Yiyan, it must be Shen Yiyan's connivance. Otherwise, how would they dare to do it? He's the president of country Shuangniu. It's not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2 in this world," Wu Nian said sincerely. "I'm leaving." Lu Shuang's eyes were filled with tears. She walked away without saying anything because she and Wu Nian weren't the only ones here. Wu Nian understood what she meant by, "I'm leaving." For the past 2 years, Lu Shuang had been wronged by Shen Yiyan's side. She wasn't willing to go to Shen Yiyan's side, but this incident only strengthened her determination to leave. Moreover, she supported Lu Shuang's departure. Since the assassination had started, it wouldn't end. It was too dangerous for a pure girl like Shuangniu to stay by Shen Yiyan's side. Alan placed Wu Nian on the sofa and said, "You'll reach the shore after midnight. I still have a few friends in City X. I'll get them to pick you up and send you back. I'm worried about you two girls." Wu Nian shook his head. "You don't have to trouble your friend. I'll call someone to pick you up. It'll be very safe. Don't worry. It's not troublesome, it's what I should do. You're my girlfriend, give me a chance to take care of you," Alan said softly. "I'm not rejecting you. I think you probably know Cool Girl's identity. The fewer people who know her identity, the better. There will be someone specially coming to pick us up. When we arrive, I'll call you to tell you that we're safe. Seeing that Wu Nian had already made up his mind, Alan knew that he would only make him hate him if he said more. He smiled and nodded. I'll wait for your call tonight. Don't make me worry. The steamer started after Alan had left, accompanied by the pilot and the steward. Lu Shuang stood at the bow of the ship, looking at the endless sea, his heart heavy. Wu Nian knew that she was in a bad mood, so he didn't call her. It was good to let her calm down. Half an hour later, Lu Shuang walked in and sat beside Wu Nian. He said firmly, I must get the cooperation with Mo Shui this time. Shen Yan is young but mature. He's very shrewd, and his mind is very meticulous. Since he agreed to let you bring Xiao Bao out for a month, he must have other arrangements. Wu Nian analyzed. Then what should we do? Lu Shuang was in a trance for a moment. I don't want to live with him anymore. I'm afraid of him, and I'm afraid that Xiao Bao will become a person like him. Let's go. Let's go when Shen Yan has his guard down the most. Wu Nian suggested. As long as I bring Xiao Bao along, he will definitely be on guard. Lu Shuang sighed irritably. Then don't let him know that you brought Xiao Bao with you. A ray of light flashed in Wu Nian's eyes. What do you mean? What should I do? This Saturday is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday party. There will be many people attending, including Stephen. As the president of a nation, it's not suitable for Shen Yan to show up. He will never expect that you will escape on this day. Then what about Xiao Bao? I can't bring Xiao Bao to the party. You know how strict the security of Shen Yan's manor is. Aunt Yang and Aunt Zhang have been guarding it. They have to report every little thing. Moreover, they never bring Xiao Bao out of the manor. Lu Shuang was upset. Actually, the best way is for you to leave first and stay in D Nation for a year. On the one hand, you can settle down in D Nation. On the other hand, Shen Yan's energy will be focused on finding you, and I will have a chance to steal the child. Wu Nian suggested. If so, Shen Yan will definitely not let you go. I can't do that. After I negotiate the cooperation, Shen Yan will agree to let me take the child out on a trip. Wu Nian knew that Lu Shuang was worried about her, but the more Lu Shuang sacrificed for her, the worse she felt. It was already 4:00 in the morning when they arrived at Shen Yan's manor. Lu Shuang went to bed after seeing the child. She called Alan. Are you home safely? Alan asked softly. Wu Nian was silent, and many thoughts flashed through her mind. She wanted to ask Alan for help. After all, Alan was a member of the British royal family. However, she did not know how to repay the favor she owed him. I'm home. Alan, will you come back tomorrow? Wu Nian asked tentatively. Yes, but not too early. Maybe it will be evening, Alan said apologetically. See you tomorrow night. Alan laughed. Okay, see you tomorrow night. It's late, and you are injured. Go to bed. Good night and sweet dreams. Good night. Sweet dreams. Wu Nian took a shower, but she did not wash her right arm. It was already 5:00 in the morning when she lay in bed and fell asleep. She was woken up by hunger. It was 3:15 in the afternoon. After brushing her teeth and washing up, she went to find Lu Shuang. As soon as she entered the door, she saw Shen Yan sitting on the sofa. He was wearing a white shirt, and the collar, cuffs, and lapel were all black. He looked cold and murderous. He stared at the man kneeling on the ground, handed the pistol to Lu Shuang, and said in a low voice, I'll leave him to you now. Lu Shuang did not even know how to kill a chicken, let alone kill a man. She squatted down in front of the kneeling man. I won't kill you. I just want to know why you arrested me and why you didn't let my friends go. The man kneeling on the ground glared at Lu Shuang and said fiercely, because you don't deserve it. As soon as he finished speaking, Shen Yan slapped him. The man fell to the ground with great force. Shen Yiyan looked down at him and said sternly, "It's not up to you to say whether I deserve it or not. It's up to me." A strange look flashed in the eyes of the man kneeling on the ground. He grabbed the pistol from Lu Shuang's hand and pointed it at Lu Shuang. Shen Yiyan stood in front of Lu Shuang and stared at the man on the ground coldly. "Mr. President, she is not worthy of your protection. You are destroying yourself," the man said angrily. The muscles on Shen Yiyan's face tightened. She said harshly and coldly, "Put down the pistol, and I will spare your life. I will die as a witness." The man pointed the pistol at his temple and shot. He fell to the ground, but his eyes were still open. Chapter 375. Lu Shuang clenched Shen Yiyan's shirt so hard that the veins on the back of his hand were clearly visible, and his shoulders were trembling slightly. Wu Nian turned around and didn't go in. She knew that Lu Shuang was not touched, but emotional. She had been living an ordinary life, happy, stable, and happy life. She was caught up in the trifles of life, dealing with them happily, and chatting with her friends happily. But now, she was involved in the royal family and politics. Wu Nian felt sad and drove to the hotel where the auction was held. She remembered that Alan lived there. On the way, she called Alan. "Alan, it's Wu Nian. Are you back?" Wu Nian asked softly. "I'm on the ship now, and it will take me about 4 hours to reach the hotel. Let's have dinner together tonight." Alan's gentle voice came from the other end of the phone. "Okay. Is the injury on your arm better?" Alan asked with concern. "Yes. See you tonight." Wu Nian thought of Lu Shuang's reaction just now, and her eyes were filled with mist, and the mist condensed into tears and flowed out. She wiped her tears, took a deep breath, and drove to the hospital first. She changed the gauze and put on 2 bottles of medicine. When she was done, she called Alan. "I was just about to call you. Do we have telepathy?" Alan said with a smile. "I'll wait for you at the entrance of the hotel." Wu Nian went straight to the point. "Go to the restaurant on the 4th floor. You can sit and rest there, and the music is beautiful. Eat what you want, and don't wait for me. I'll be there in about half an hour," Alan said softly. Wu Nian slightly raised the corner of her mouth. If she had met Alan 10 years ago, she would have fallen deeply in love with him. He was really a perfect lover. However, she was now covered in scars and her heart had already died on that deserted island. Her biggest wish now was to take care of Xiao Yan. She hung up the phone. 10 minutes after she arrived at the hotel restaurant, Alan came over. He was travel-worn with the humidity of the sea. Because he had not slept for 2 days and 1 night, the dark circles under his eyes were obvious on his snow-white skin, but it did not affect his aristocratic temperament at all. "You must have waited for a long time." "Sorry." Alan pulled out a chair, sat down, and handed her the menu like a gentleman. "Sorry to trouble you, dear. The girl who was responsible for cooking for Stephen is missing. I didn't have enough for breakfast and lunch. You have to order more." Xia He had prepared dinner at noon yesterday. They had a good dinner last night. She was worried that Gu Lingqing would find out that Xia He was gone. However, Gu Lingqing's reaction was very normal yesterday. Or rather, he often looked so deep that she couldn't see what he was thinking. Anyway, it was good that Gu Lingqing didn't catch Xia He. It didn't matter whether he deliberately let Xia He go or he didn't find out. "Give me 2 filet steak set, 1 foie gras, 1 fruit salad, 2 blue ocean, 2 borscht, 1 chicken wing, 1 French fries, and a snack platter." "Thank you." Wu Nian ordered the dishes skillfully and looked at Alan. "Do you want anything else?" "I like what you ordered," Alan said politely and handed a blue square jewelry box to Wu Nian. Wu Nian looked at Alan in confusion. "I said I have something for you." "You must accept it," Alan said softly. Wu Nian opened the jewelry box and saw the jade necklace, which Alan bought for 13 million. "Didn't your grandmother ask you to buy this?" It's not appropriate for you to give it to me. Wu Nian closed the jewelry box. My grandmother had a jade necklace and gave it to her eldest daughter-in-law. My mother didn't have it. She asked me to buy it for my wife. I think I have decided on you. Alan smiled and looked at Wu Nian with burning eyes. Wu Nian's eyes flashed with panic. I've only known you for a few days. It's too early to say that I have decided on you. You have to be responsible for your son's mother in the future. You don't know me. I'm more afraid that you will be taken away by others. Alan smiled. A woman who can be taken away by others won't be your match. Besides, although this necklace is for your wife, it's different if it's given by you and your grandmother before or after the wedding. Your grandmother wants respect. If I decide to marry you one day, when I go to see your grandmother, I won't ask for this necklace, but recognition, Wu Nian said seriously. The more I get to know you, the more I like you. What should I do? Alan said helplessly. The beginning of love is always good, because under the influence of dopamine, you only see the good points of the other party. As time goes by, you will see more and more flaws, and even the good points from before will become flaws. If one day, you accept all my flaws, then you will be the real deal. If one day, you accept all my shortcomings, then you will really fall in love with me. Wu Nian smiled and brushed off his confession. I'm looking forward to that day. Alan smiled and didn't force her. The waiter served the dishes they ordered one after another. Wu Nian ate it and didn't feel hungry anymore. She looked at Alan and said seriously, before I say it, can you promise to keep it a secret for me? Of course. Alan agreed without thinking. Do you know that Shinian has a wife? Wu Nian asked. He is a young and outstanding president and politician of a country. Apart from seeing him on TV, I've also met him once or twice in real life. He is a man of outstanding charm, and his wife is also graceful and luxurious, Alan commented. Lu Shuang wants to leave Shen Yiyan with her child. As long as he cooperates with Mo Shui, Shen Yiyan will let Lu Shuang travel with the child for a month. This is the best time for Lu Shuang to escape. Can you help me? Wu Nian asked sincerely. Then let them travel to the UK. I can't do anything about other places, but if they come to the UK, I can guarantee that they will disappear without a trace and Shinian will not be able to find them. Alan promised with a smile. Then I thank you on behalf of Lu Shuang. But can I have a small request? Alan held Wu Nian's hand and said. Go ahead. Wu Nian said straightforwardly. I'm your boyfriend. Shen Yiyan has a wide range of sources. He should know that Lu Shuang disappeared in the UK and he can also guess that I did it. You are in a country and I'm worried that you will be in danger. Can you stay in the UK with me? Alan requested. The longer I stay in the UK, the more it proves that you did it. No matter how powerful Shen Yiyan is, he won't kill me. Wu Nian expressed his reluctance to leave in a euphemistic way. Alan's eyes dimmed. He lowered his head and kissed Wu Nian's hand. He said sadly, I admit that I'm not good enough to make you fall for me, and I can't make you leave your hometown to follow me. Wu Nian felt guilty for using him. I have 4 days off a month. I will go to the UK to find you. I will go every month until you don't want me to go. Chapter 376. Wu Nian felt desolate for a moment. She wasn't 18 years old anymore. She understood what the man meant when he said that he would stay with her at night. He didn't just mean to chat under the blanket. She lowered her head and twisted her hands under the table. She didn't want to. Alan looked at her kind face. Her long eyelashes left a silhouette under her eyes. She was quiet and lovely. He gradually moved closer to her and his lips landed on her eyes. Then he continued moving down and landed on her lips. What a coincidence to meet you here. Gu Lingqing's voice sounded coldly. Wu Nian stepped back subconsciously. She looked up at Gu Lingqing and met his exceptionally dark eyes. His brows were slightly furrowed. He was obviously unhappy, but the corners of his mouth were raised stiffly. Is Mr. Gu staying in this hotel too? Alan asked politely. Yes, it's more convenient. I won't disturb your meal. Gu Lingqing walked past them and sat down at a place further away from them. Wu Nian was quite uncomfortable. She tapped her fingers on the table lightly. Alan chuckled. Wu Nian looked at him in surprise. What are you laughing at? You're very special. You look as tough as a blade of grass, but you're very shy, Alan said gently. Alan, Wu Nian called. She wanted to say something but stopped. It's okay if it's not convenient for you today, Alan said gently. He seemed to have seen through her reluctance. Well, our country is more traditional than England when it comes to sex. Of course, the degree of tradition varies from person to person. Wu Nian paused. I won't force you, Alan promised with a smile. Wu Nian's eyes flickered with light. Alan was very nice. He was very gentlemanly and elegant. Other than his background and appearance, even his personality couldn't be faulted. She shouldn't be tired after interacting with him for a long time. But the better he was, the more burdened she felt. Her purpose of dating him was not simple. Maybe she was just using him as a lifesaver. I'm sorry, Wu Nian apologized. It's okay. I was too impatient. You have your concerns. Maybe I'm not good enough. I hope time will give me the chance to prove to you that I'm suitable for you. Alan held Wu Nian's hand. I'm sorry, Wu Nian said again. Alan lowered his head and kissed her forehead. He said softly, you don't have to say sorry to me, because I do it willingly. Then, do you want to come to my place for a while? Okay. Wu Nian agreed readily. Waiter, bill please. Alan took out his wallet. The waiter stepped forward and said respectfully, Sir, the guests at that table have already paid the bill for you. Alan looked at Gu Lingqing. He had his back to them, looking aloof and noble. Alan took out $200 from his wallet and put it on the table. Say thank you to that gentleman. I'll pay my own bill. Alan held Wu Nian's hand and left. Gu Lingqing turned around and looked at them. He was holding the wine glass too tightly. With a crack, the glass broke. The shards pierced into his palm. Blood mixed with red wine flowed out of his palm. He stood up and walked quickly to the door. Sir, the guest over there said that he'll pay his own bill, the waiter explained. I'm just paying for myself and my woman, Gu Lingqing said without looking at the waiter. Wu Nian and Alan were waiting for the elevator at the door. Gu Lingqing stood behind her. She didn't need to look back to know that he was coming. She straightened her back and held her breath. Alan also saw Gu Lingqing. He smiled and greeted him. Mr. Gu, are you done eating so soon? There was an accident. Gu Lingqing replied coldly. He glanced at Wu Nian with an even colder gaze. Miss Wu, you know some medicine, right? I saw that you dared to operate on people who cut their arteries. I've learned a little, but I'm not good at it, Wu Nian replied politely. Can I help bandage your hand? Gu Lingqing said sarcastically. Wu Nian looked at his hand and realized that blood was still dripping. Her heart tightened. She lowered her head. Sure, but I don't have gauze or anti-inflammatory medicine here. There's a pharmacy nearby. It's best if you go there and bandage it. Forget it if you don't want to help, Gu Lingqing said coldly. He was obviously unhappy. His displeasure weighed heavily on her heart. Wu Nian felt uncomfortable. The elevator opened with a ding. Gu Lingqing walked past them and entered. Wu Nian sighed. She really couldn't let him get hurt and give up on himself. I really don't have gauze or anti-inflammatory medicine here, Wu Nian said again. Alan, I don't want to go to the pharmacy or the hospital. Can you help me buy some gauze and anti-inflammatory medicine? Gu Lingqing asked Alan coldly. Alan smiled. Okay, which room are you in? I'll send it to you after I buy it. Room 1109. Sorry for the trouble. Alan looked at Wu Nian. Then you go to room 1109 first. Wait for me for a few minutes. Wu Nian nodded. She followed Gu Lingqing to room 1109 while Alan went down to buy gauze and other things. Gu Lingqing opened the door and gestured for Wu Nian to go in first. Wu Nian didn't think that he would do anything to her. It was just that Gu Lingqing was acting weird now and she felt a little strange. She walked in and Gu Lingqing followed her in and closed the door. With a bang, Wu Nian's back stiffened and she said in a businesslike manner, I'll treat your wound first. Gu Lingqing sat on the sofa and looked at her. Wu Nian stood on the spot. She felt that Gu Lingqing was acting weird now. Didn't you come to treat my wound? Why are you standing there? Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Wu Nian took a napkin and walked over. She held Gu Lingqing's injured right hand and wiped the blood on it. She saw that there were 4 wounds on his palm. One of them was so deep that the flesh could be seen. How did you cause this? Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. He was looking at her deeply and his eyes were cold. I remember you said that you just broke up with your boyfriend not long ago. In order not to feel heartache again, you even left the original city. According to this, you should have a deep love for your ex-boyfriend. You can sleep with another man so soon. Wu Nian heard the sarcasm in Gu Lingqing's words. Her face darkened and she said bluntly, this is my business. It has nothing to do with Mr. Gu. Of course it has something to do with me. You will help me take care of my child in the future. If the upper beam is not straight, the lower beam will be crooked. If you live like this, I'm worried that my child will learn from you. Gu Lingqing said unhappily and confidently. Then you better not ask me to be your tutor. Wu Nian said with red eyes. Gu Lingqing got up very quickly. At the same time, he helped her up and pressed down on her, pressing her onto the sofa opposite him. Their bodies were tightly pressed against each other, airtight. Chapter 377. Wu Nian looked at him in shock. She couldn't believe that such words would come out of his mouth. She also didn't understand why he would say such words. I think Mr. Gu might have misunderstood, or I might have done something that made you misunderstand. I apologize first. I never had any improper thoughts about Mr. Gu. I just simply wanted a job that seemed challenging. Wu Nian said righteously. Gu Lingqing lifted her chin and rubbed her lips with his left thumb. Only you know whether you wanted it or not. I'll pretend that you didn't think about it. From now on, I'll allow you to think about it. Wu Nian's heart was beating fast. She looked at Gu Lingqing's face, trying to find something from his face. What he said was not frivolous, and there was not a trace of desire in his eyes. On the contrary, there was a kind of anger in his dark eyes. Was he testing her? I have a boyfriend. Wu Nian pushed his chest and said. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of his mouth. Don't you always have a foot in 2 boats? What? Wu Nian didn't understand what Gu Lingqing meant. Nothing. Gu Lingqing stood up and returned to his seat. His eyes were locked on her. Wu Nian felt uneasy under his gaze. I'll go see if Alan has bought the things. She rushed to open the door. As far as I know, Alan has a fiancée in England. He didn't break up with his fiancée. You're a little stupid. Gu Lingqing said coldly. Wu Nian stood in the same place. Alan's loyalty was not high. This was what she had judged after interacting with him. That fiancé should be the one that Alan had mentioned. They got to know each other through marriage. Hearing this news, she not only didn't feel sad, but also felt relieved. She and Alan didn't owe each other anything in this way. I know what I'm doing, but I don't think Mr. Gu knows what you're doing. Wu Nian said coldly. He opened the door and stood outside. He leaned against the wall and lowered his head in a daze. You've been waiting for me? Alan suddenly appeared in front of her. Okay. Wu Nian answered, took the plastic bag from his hand, and entered the door. Gu Lingqing was still sitting on the sofa. His back view was proud and cold, with a sense of alienation and indifference. His temperament was slightly cold. Her heart ached for no reason. She walked over and squatted down in front of Gu Lingqing. You don't have to bandage me up. Your arm is injured too. I'll do it myself. You can leave now. Do you need my help? Alan asked politely. Gu Lingqing glanced at Alan. No need. Send my regards to Elisa. Alan paused. Then rest more. He held Wu Nian's hand and left Gu Lingqing's room. Gu Lingqing threw the things that Wu Nian bought on the floor. He couldn't expose her. If he did, he was afraid that she would run away. He couldn't hug and kiss her, and he had to watch her leave with another man. It felt terrible. Wu Nian followed Alan into the lift. Alan didn't say anything. However, she had already sensed that Elisa should be Alan's fiancée. I've been thinking for a long time. Should I say it or not? Wu Nian said. Alan looked at Wu Nian and said politely, I've been thinking too. Should I say it or not? Girls first. You go first. If I want the plan to go smoothly, I shouldn't have exposed this piece of paper at this time. However, there are things that a gentleman shouldn't do. Not only did I make use of you, but I also hurt the innocent Elisa. So, Alan, Elisa is the person that I told you about before. She's the person that my parents introduced. We're engaged, but we don't think we're suitable. However, it's related to our two families, so we're dragging it out. I'll go back to China and settle things before looking for you. Give me a chance. I know I shouldn't lie to you. Maybe it's because of my deep-rooted bad habits that I purposely ignored the fact that Elisa is already my fiancée. I'm serious about you. I'm not playing around. Alan took over Wu Nian's words and explained. Wu Nian turned her face away. Her mind was in a mess. I don't blame you. I'm not innocent either. Alan, don't be impulsive. Don't be fooled by the illusion in front of you. You should think about it carefully. What do you want? I have a wound in my heart. It might not heal for the rest of my life. It just so happens that my greatest strength is patience. What if it's for the rest of your life? I'm afraid that I won't have the heart to love anymore, Wu Nian said worriedly. She was afraid that others would sacrifice for her. If she couldn't fall in love with Alan for the rest of her life, then Alan and Elisa would miss a good match. She would feel guilty. However, she was also worried that if she directly rejected Alan, Alan wouldn't help her. Lu Shuang wouldn't be able to escape. People were always trapped in contradictions. They couldn't get out of it. They could only hesitate and fumble around. They didn't know if what they did was right or if the result would be good. I like the word forever. If I can't make you fall in love with me for the rest of my life, at least every day is meaningful. Alan put his arm around her shoulder and pulled her into his warm arms. He said in a deep voice, Wu Nian, you're carrying too much. You think too much. You're also too afraid of owing others. Wu Nian lowered her eyes. Her long eyelashes covered the tears in her eyes. That was because she had experienced too much. If she could turn back time, she definitely wouldn't choose to be a burden. With a ding, the elevator opened. When I passed by the front desk just now, I booked an extra room. It's too late at night, and your arm is injured. You didn't want me to send you back. I'm worried that it's not safe for you to drive alone. Tonight, you can sleep here. We'll each have a room. You should feel at ease. Alan said gently. He opened the door for her and inserted the room card into the key. Wu Nian didn't reject again. Thank you. I'll go back to England tomorrow to deal with the matter with Elisa. Will you accompany me back to England? My grandmother might want to see you. Alan asked softly without confidence. Wu Nian shook her head. I have to help Lu Shuang win this cooperation first. Only then can she bring her child to England for a vacation. Alan smiled. I envy her. You've sacrificed a lot for her. That's because you don't know that she's sacrificed for me. Everything starts from me. It's fine as long as it stops with me. Wu Nian said guiltily. Darling. Alan put his arm around Wu Nian's waist. You should be happier. You deserve to be happy. I feel sorry for you. The corners of Wu Nian's lips curled up, and her eyes curved. Although there was no smile in her eyes, she was ethereal and distant. She was ethereal and unfathomable, making people want to remember her appearance forever. I'll marry you. Alan promised. He then added, as long as you agree. Before Wu Nian could reply, the hotel alarm rang urgently. She looked at Alan and asked worriedly, Is this the fire alarm? Chapter 378. There's a fire on the 15th floor. Come with me. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. He glanced at them unhappily and turned around with a livid face. Wu Nian looked at his cold and lonely back and had a strange feeling in her heart. Did he come up to tell them? When did Gu Lingqing become a warm-hearted person? Wu Nian looked at Alan. Alan smiled warmly. Although the fire is going up, the 13th floor may also be affected. Moreover, it will probably be very noisy tonight. Why don't we go to another hotel? Wu Nian nodded. You haven't slept for 2 days and 1 night. You should have a good rest. I'll help you pack your luggage. It's okay. I can pack by myself. You can go down and wait for me in the lobby. Alan said gently. Wu Nian didn't want to wait for the fire to start and become a burden to others. She walked into the corridor. Gu Lingqing didn't go far. He stood at the corner and looked at her with bloodshot eyes. He pursed his lips tightly and she could see that he was suppressing his anger. She felt that she needed to have a good talk with him when she was free. His anger seemed to be directed at her, which made her feel uncomfortable. Wu Nian walked downstairs. Gu Lingqing held her arm and walked forward. When they reached the 5th floor, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, I'll send you back. No need. Wu Nian rejected. Gu Lingqing looked at her sharply. I said I'll send you back, so I'll send you back. Wu Nian was furious. She shook off Gu Lingqing's hand. Mr. Gu, don't you think you're too overbearing? I'm free. Gu Lingqing moved closer to her and looked down at her face that was red from anger. Sadness and pain flowed through his pitch-black eyes. The look in his eyes made Wu Nian's heart clench. Didn't you study psychology? Then you should put yourself in my shoes and think about how you would feel if you were me now. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, his eyes locked onto her. Wu Nian's heart was flustered. His eyes flickered as he looked at him. What do you mean by that? Gu Lingqing smiled bitterly. You don't understand, or are you pretending to be stupid? You're so smart, how can you not understand? Wu Nian had a bad feeling. His eyes became sharp and guarded. What does Mr. Gu mean by understand? Don't talk in riddles with me. Since you said that I should understand, then please explain it clearly. Gu Lingqing looks at her cold eyes and the redness in her eyes deepens. If I say I like you, will you stay away from me? Wu Nian paused and looked deeply into Gu Lingqing's eyes. He has fallen in love with Wu Nian. Should she be sad or happy? She didn't make a decision. Her face felt warm and moist. Gu Lingqing has fallen in love with Wu Nian. He will also fall in love with other women. There will always be a woman who is good enough to appear by Gu Lingqing's side. She should be happy for Gu Lingqing. I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend. Mr. Gu is not my type. If Mr. Gu can't change his mind, then I can only change my behavior and life plan. Wu Nian said coldly. Gu Lingqing smiled. His dark eyes were covered with a thin veil. You believe what I said. You're really naive. It's good to have a simple mind, but it's wrong to be stubborn. I don't need President Gu to judge whether I'm right or not. Is it right for you to casually criticize others and interfere with others' lives? Don't talk about yourself when you have the mouth to talk about others. Wu Nian said angrily. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply, pursed his lips and didn't say anything. Wu Nian hated his deep look the most. She couldn't see through him, but he could see through others. So, Wu Nian didn't talk to him anymore. She walked downstairs. Many guests gathered in the living room of the building. The hotel claims manager smiled and explained one by one. The surveillance video shows that a woman burned paper money in the corridor on the 15th floor. That's why the smoke alarm automatically went off. There was no fire. Don't worry. Wu Nian went outside and called Alan. The hotel manager explained in the hall that there was a woman burning paper money in the corridor on the 15th floor. There was no fire. You don't need to come down. Well, is the elevator ready? Let me come down to pick you up. Alan said softly. No, I'm going back. I'm still worried about Lu Shuang. Thank you for your kindness. Wu Nian refused. Okay, I'll fly back to England at 8 tomorrow morning. It's too early. Don't send me off. I'll call you when I get to England. Remember to answer the phone. Don't make me worry, hee hee. Alan said jokingly. Rest early. Good night. I don't want to say goodbye to you. What should I do? Alan didn't hang up the phone. He looked out of the window and saw Wu Nian under the Chinese parasol tree. Parting is for a better reunion. Wu Nian looked at the 14th floor and saw Alan. Alan smiled. Good night. I'll see you off. Good night. Wu Nian hung up the phone and walked to the parking lot. She got into her car and drove back. Her mind flashed through the scenes from that night. What happened in Gu Lingqing's room and the conversation she had with Gu Lingqing on the stairs. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that Gu Lingqing's tone, attitude, and dialogue were all abnormal. It was as if he knew that she was Baiya. However, it was impossible for him to know that she was Baiya. Her appearance had changed, her name had changed, her resume had changed, and even her DNA had changed. What had gone wrong? Unknowingly, she drove back to the manor. She wanted to see Lu Shuang, but was stopped by the manor's butler. The butler explained with an ambiguous smile, Sir and Madam are already asleep. If there's nothing urgent, it's not good to disturb them at this time. Wu Nian understood. Every time Shaniyan came, it was as if she had never eaten her fill. Her heart was even heavier. She walked in the garden and looked up at the sky. There was a moon tonight. There was a bright star next to the moon. The moon was accompanied by stars. It felt good to have someone to accompany her all the time. She sat on the wooden chair by the lake. Her phone rang. It was Alan. She picked up the call. You're not asleep yet? I was worried about you. Have you reached home? Alan said gently. Perhaps it was because he was about to sleep, his voice was a little hoarse. I just arrived. Sorry to have made you worry. It's good that you're here. Rest early then. Wu Nian heard his kind laughter. Her eyes darkened. Rest early then. It was destined that she would not sleep well that night. In the morning, she woke up at 8:20. She brushed her teeth, washed up, and went for a jog in the garden. From afar, she saw Gu Lingqing sitting on the wooden chair by the lake. He saw her too. Instinctively, she wanted to run somewhere else. However, he had already seen her. If she did not greet him and ran somewhere else, it would make her look guilty. Chapter 379. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply and didn't say anything. Wu Nian felt that she was asking for it. She smiled awkwardly and continued to run. She ran the second lap. Gu Lingqing was still sitting on the chair, looking down and using his phone. The sunlight was just right, and when it fell on his handsome body, it was like a golden halo, bringing with it a warm feeling. Because he lowered his head, stray hair left a black silhouette on his face, which accentuated his originally resolute facial features. Wu Nian's eyes softened a little. She saw him raise his head and quickly looked away, pretending not to look at him. Gu Lingqing picked up his phone and took more than a dozen photos of her. Wu Nian didn't notice. Gu Lingqing found Bai Ye's photos and compared them. His forehead was the same, bright and full. The head shape was the same. Bai Ye's head was goose egg shaped, not flat. The old people said that the head shape was shaped by the pillow when she was a baby. When she slept with her face facing the sky, the back of her head was flat. When she slept with her face sideways, it would become a full goose egg shaped head. This kind of head looked very good when tied into a ponytail. Gu Lingqing's lips curved up slightly. Bai Ye adjusted her eyes, lips, face shape, ears, and nose without moving. It was fate. Bai Ye had a small round ear above her earlobe, which couldn't be seen without looking carefully. He estimated that Bai Ye didn't notice it herself, so he didn't do the ear surgery. Wu Nian ran one lap after another. Seeing that Gu Lingqing had been sitting on the chair, he didn't talk to her or look at her, he was still looking at his phone. When she ran the 10th lap, Gu Lingqing was no longer sitting on the chair. Wu Nian subconsciously looked for his figure. She glanced around, but didn't see Gu Lingqing. She thought about her own behavior and found it funny. She and Gu Lingqing were nothing now. Didn't she resist meeting Gu Lingqing by chance? What was he doing now? Wu Nian continued to run. After another 10 laps, Lu Shuang came to look for her with a serious look on his face. She was also tired from running, so she walked over to Lu Shuang and worriedly asked, "Are you all right?" "It's still the same. If you don't erupt in silence, you will die in silence. You always have to wait for the best opportunity. I just saw Gu Lingqing and Shiniyan together. What can they say when they are together?" Although Gu Lingqing left the military area to engage in business, in fact, the Gu family's influence is not only in the military, but also in the political power. It is not strange that Shiniyan is looking for him. In addition, Alan promised to help. As long as you travel to the UK, she can make you disappear without any trace. Wu Nian said. He comforted Lu Shuang. Shiniyan is not a simple person. If I disappear in the UK, he will soon suspect Alan and you. He won't let you go. Lu Shuang was worried. Wu Nian smiled. Even if he doesn't let me go, it won't change anything. As long as he doesn't admit it, there will never be any evidence. Besides, with Alan's identity, Shen Ian won't offend him rashly. I hope he finds another woman as soon as possible and stops provoking me. Then I can come back to look for you. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes and said. Let's not talk about this. There are too many variables in the future. Tomorrow is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday. Have you bought the gift? Lu Shuang pursed his lips. Shen Ian said that Mo Shui's daughter likes men the most. Moreover, she already has a man she likes. It's better to give her the one she likes than the expensive gift. Well, we can take an unusual path. It's good to try. Do you know who the man she likes is? Wu Nian asked. Lu Shuang sighed and said with gloomy eyes, Gu Lingqing. Ha! Wu Nian laughed. He is really a toad with 2 legs. Lu Shuang was amused by Wu Nian and his depression was gone. Gu Lingqing must know that you described him as a toad. You'll probably die 1,000 times over with just a single glare. So you must say bad things behind his back and to someone you trust, in case he finds out. Wu Nian laughed. Gu Lingqing may have dinner here today. I don't want to face her. Let's go out to eat. By the way, can you help me think of a gift? I don't dare to give Gu Lingqing a gift. Lu Shuang put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder. Okay, wait for me. I'll take a shower. Wu Nian wiped the sweat on his face. By the way, how is your wound now? Wu Nian asked worriedly. It's just a small wound on my arm. When I went to change the dressing yesterday, I saw that it was recovering well. It didn't affect my running. I'll go out and change the dressing again to see how the wound is healing. I think it should be healed soon, Wu Nian said lightly. You are so brave. I'll wait for you at the door. I'm afraid that Shen Yan will be annoying, Lu Shuang said and went straight to the door. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Shen Yan's call. She frowned and said impolitely, Shen Yan, am I your mother? You haven't been weaned yet, right? I just left for 10 minutes. Do you have any milk? Shen Yan said coldly. I don't have any. Go find someone with milk. Lu Shuang hung up the phone directly. Shen Yan called again and said angrily, if you dare to hang up on me again, you won't be able to walk out of the room anymore. I mean what I say. She knew that he meant what he said, but what right did he have to do that? Lu Shuang was so angry that he was about to explode. You, President Shen, are so powerful. Don't say that you won't let me step out of the room. You can kill me like stepping on an ant. Do I dare to hang up? Go ahead and say it. Lu Shuang threw his phone into his bag and walked towards the door no matter what he said. After Shen Yan said that, she heard that there was no sound from Lu Shuang's side. She gritted her teeth and said to the housekeeper, find Madam's current location in 1 minute. Oh. I'll go and check the surveillance now. The butler immediately replied. Right now, the president did not show any signs of anger on his face. The only person who could anger him to this extent was the madam. Lu Shuang had just walked to the door when Shen Yan arrived before him. She was still holding her phone in her hand and looked at him unhappily. Lu Shuang, have I been too lenient with you? You lose your temper as soon as you answer the phone. I told you not to hang up, but now you don't even answer the phone. Do you have nothing better to do? Lu Shuang turned his face away, thought for a moment, took out his phone and hung up. Shen Yan, you are really asking for a beating. You don't have to go out today. He rushed towards Lu Shuang angrily. Lu Shuang was so angry that he didn't know what to say. He threw his bag on Shen Yan and squatted down. Shen Yan was about to get angry when he saw her lowering her head. Her shoulders were trembling, and her tears were dripping onto the cement floor, making small spots of water wet. Chapter 380. Lu Shuang thought about it. Crying in front of him would be a coward. She wiped her tears and stood up. What's the matter? Hurry up and tell me. I'm going out after you're done. Shen Yan frowned when she saw her fierce look. You're not crying anymore? Am I crying? I'm draining water. Do you understand? Lu Shuang denied. Draining water. Heh. Shen Yan sneered. I think you should be mentally retarded. Lu Shuang did not want to talk to him anymore. She rolled her eyes at him and walked away. Shen Yan had no choice but to grab her arm. Lu Shuang, you're a punching bag, right? You get angry when you talk to me. Can you be obedient? That depends on whether you're speaking the human language. If you don't like it, of course I'll get angry. I'm not a plant. All plants have emotions. Lu Shuang tried to pry her fingers apart. Gu Lingqing asked me today if Wu Nian is Baiya. What do you think I should say? Shen Yan said in a low voice. Lu Shuang panicked. When she told Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian was Baiya, Gu Lingqing did not believe her and even tried to suppress her. Now that Wu Nian and Alan were together, she did not want Gu Lingqing and Baiya to be together. If Gu Lingqing knew that Wu Nian was Baiya, Gu Lingqing would definitely pester her. What did you say? Lu Shuang asked worriedly. Shen Yan let go of her hand and asked, what do you want me to say? Of course not. If Wu Nian wanted to be with Gu Lingqing, she would have told Gu Lingqing herself. She didn't tell Gu Lingqing because she didn't want Gu Lingqing to know, Lu Shuang said directly. Shen Yiyan looked at her with a secretive look. She curled her lips and her eyes were sparkling. Lu Shuang had a bad feeling. You didn't tell me, did you? You think I'm you? Gu Lingqing said you said it. Wu Nian is Bai Ya. Shen Yiyan said with a smile. Lu Shuang was speechless. Embarrassed, she blushed slightly and turned her face away. Her eyes flickered as she said softly, there are a few days a month when my head is squeezed and I say the wrong thing in a moment of impulse. Are you saying yes or no? I denied it, Shen Yiyan replied. Lu Shuang was relieved and smiled. You're really good at lying. The skills you learned since you were young are really useful when you grow up. Shen Yiyan was speechless. He curled his lips. You're right. I suddenly want to turn over a new leaf. I shouldn't lie. After all, Gu Lingqing is very useful to me. Lu Shuang held his hand. How can you be like this? If you call me nice, I might not be like this. Anyway, I want Gu Lingqing to know that Wu Nian is Bai Ya and he owes me a favor. I don't think it's a loss, Shen Yiyan said slowly. Are you serious? Lu Shuang was really afraid that he would say it. What about the nice one? Shen Yiyan leaned forward and put his ear close to Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang looked at his approaching figure with disdain. Handsome guy is not nice. What do you think? It's just a fact. It's not nice. Shen Yiyan frowned and said. Lu Shuang smiled and took the initiative to hold the back of Shen Yiyan's neck. I understand. The fact is not nice. Then I love you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You're the man I love the most. Ha 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 ha. This is nice, right? Don't worry. I promise that it's 100% fake. Shen Yiyan frowned even more. He carried her up and said, I know you don't want to go out today. No, Shen Yiyan, put me down. I really have something to do. Tomorrow is Mo Shui's daughter's birthday. Xiao Nian and I are going out to buy a birthday present. Lu Shuang twisted his waist. Gu Lingqing has already given Stephen to me. Without his competition, I have nothing to fear. Shen Yiyan walked inside. Without Gu Lingqing, there's still Su Jiran. You're ruining things. I don't care. I want to take the baby out for a trip. Shen Yiyan looked down at her angry face and thought of the days when he was young and frivolous. He had been soaked in the vat of politics for a long time. He was surrounded by deceit and intrigue. He had also become different from his original self. He was good at using money and power, and he was cautious at every step. If he was not careful, he would walk into other people's political traps. He had caused countless people to die. For the sake of the big picture, he had sacrificed marriage, freedom, and happiness. Only Lu Shuang could let him see his old self, who was more free and happy. Therefore, he liked her when she was angry, when she was crying, or when she was willful. She was the only one who treated him as Shen Yiyan, not the president. Then give me a kiss, and I'll let you go out. Shen Yiyan said softly. You're so annoying. Lu Shuang kissed him on the face reluctantly. Shen Yiyan put her down, patted her head, and said meaningfully, don't run around. Lu Shuang licked his tongue, turned around, and ran to the door. Shen Yiyan looked at Lu Shuang's back. It was impossible for him to let her go. If she left, he would be lost in the ocean of politics forever. He would only be left to live alone. As soon as Lu Shuang arrived at the door, he saw Wu Nian coming over. She saw Wu Nian and felt a little guilty, because she told Gu Lingqing that she was Baiya without her permission. Lu Shuang really hated himself for not using his brain. What was he thinking at that time? Xiao Nian, I'm sorry. Lu Shuang apologized. What's wrong? Why are you apologizing all of a sudden? Wu Nian was puzzled. I always make mistakes and ask you to clean up the mess for me. It was like that in the past, and it's still like that now. Lu Shuang lowered his head. Wu Nian smiled and comforted him. No matter what you do, I will forgive you. Because I know you are doing it for my sake. You just don't know how to do it for my sake. Or, you have an arrogant thought, and the result is the opposite of what you want. Lu Shuang scratched his head. That seems to be the case. I must be careful in my words and actions in the future. Wu Nian smiled. I'll wait for the day when you are careful in your words and actions. Sigh. Lu Shuang sighed. Sometimes wishes were beautiful, but the reality was harsh. I'll take you to the hospital to change the gauze first. The wound on Wu Nian's arm did not recover as well as he had imagined. Although the wound had scabbed, the surrounding area was still red and swollen. You shouldn't run. You need to rest more. Lu Shuang felt sorry for him. Wu Nian smiled nonchalantly. Life is about exercise. This recovery is considered good. There is no infection, no pus, and no fever. Don't you feel pain? Lu Shuang bandaged Wu Nian's wound. Wu Nian shook her head. My body has the ability to adapt. This kind of pain is nothing to me. If I don't think about it, I will ignore it. Chapter 381. As long as you never admit it, even if he suspects, he won't be sure. But, what if you don't admit it and he has already made up his mind? Lu Shuang asked worriedly. Wu Nian's eyes flashed with suspicion. She asked, did Gu Lingqing come to see Shen Yan today to confirm if I'm Baiya? Gu Lingqing asked, but Shen Yan said no, Lu Shuang explained. Wu Nian lowered her eyes. She knew that Gu Lingqing's attitude yesterday, his tone, and the way he spoke were not normal. Now that she thought about it, he must have thought that she was Baiya. He was still suspicious of her, so his attitude towards her was also ambiguous. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian's silence. She was impatient and said irritably, so what if he knows? If you don't like him, then you don't like him. Anyway, you guys are divorced. What are you afraid of? Just let him know that he bullied you before. Wu Nian did not say anything. She was deep in her own thoughts. Time passed by. 1.5 hours later, Wu Nian was done with the drip. Let's go and buy a gift. What should we buy? Jewelry? Her family sells jewelry. As for clothes, we don't even know her size. I guess since her family is so rich, it should be custom-made. Lipstick or something else is too shabby. People like her should not lack anything other than the man they like. Lu Shuang sighed. Let's buy an LV bag. The latest model. Women always lack one bag. Wu Nian suggested. Buy an LV bag, the latest model. A woman's bag is always short of one. Wu Nian suggested. It can cure all diseases. Ha ha ha. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's hand and walked to the most high-end shopping building in X City. It can cure all diseases, ha ha ha. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's arm and walked to the most high-end shopping building in X City. They saw Su Jiran buying perfume when they walked to the elevator on the first floor. Lu Shuang dragged Wu Nian away. Su Jiran glanced at Wu Nian from the corner of his eyes. Xiao Nian, it's great that I bumped into you here. I wanted to buy you a bottle of perfume to thank you for saving my life that day. Come over and take a look. Which one do you like? My Xiao Nian never uses perfume. Thank you. Besides, Xiao Nian didn't save you. She saved her boyfriend. She saved you along the way, Lu Shuang said bluntly and then got into the elevator with Wu Nian. Wu Nian didn't even look at Su Jiran. He was looking ahead. The corners of Su Jiran's mouth curled up. He put his hands in his pockets and followed them. When Lu Shuang saw that Su Jiran was following them, she blocked his path. I say, you're a shameless person, why are you following us? It was the same when Xiaobai didn't like you. You kept pestering her, and the more you pestered her, the more disgusting you are. A cold light flashed in Su Jiran's eyes. You should be glad that you are Shaniyan's woman. Otherwise, with your personality, you would have died 17 or 18 times. Are you saying that you would have killed me 17 or 18 times? Su Jiran, you are a devil who kills without batting an eye. Lu Shuang said coldly. If I was a devil who kills without batting an eye, you wouldn't be alive now. You even killed the woman you like. I should thank you for being merciful. Lu Shuang rolled his eyes at him and pulled Wu Nian away. As long as Baya doesn't leave me, I won't let her die. Su Jiran said as he looked at Wu Nian's back. Lu Shuang didn't look back and walked even faster. This Su Jiran is so annoying. It was a wise decision for you to divorce him. I saw him changing girlfriends more than 10 times in the past year. Stud horse, trash. Don't argue with him in the future. He is a sinister person. If you ignore him, he will feel that you are asking for trouble. Wu Nian reminded him. I have a bad temper. I can't help it. They walked into the LV store. Boss, are there any new goods this month? Lu Shuang asked. Yes, but it is limited. Someone ordered it last month. The shop assistant said apologetically, why don't you look at the others? Some of them are also popular. Is there only one limited edition? Lu Shuang said disappointedly. Each store can only get one. I'm sorry. Why don't you look at other stores? Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian. Even if there are some in other countries, tomorrow is the birthday party. I don't know if I can make it in time. Do you have the customer's contact information? Wu Nian asked the shop assistant. Well. When the shop assistant saw Su Jiran coming over, she smiled and said, Mr. Su, are you coming to pick up the bag? Su Jiran nodded. The shop assistant handed the limited edition bag to Su Jiran respectfully. Su Jiran took the bag and looked at Wu Nian. He handed the bag over. You want it too, right? It's for you. Lu Shuang slapped Su Jiran's hand away. Who wants your stuff? Get lost. Su Jiran frowned and glanced at Lu Shuang unhappily. Seeing the sharpness in Su Jiran's eyes, Wu Nian's heart sank. She was all too familiar with the look in his eyes. Su Jiran was capable of anything. Most importantly, he had too many tricks up his sleeves. Once he did it, he could even lure people into his trap unknowingly. They wouldn't even know how they died. Cool girl. Wu Nian stopped him. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian. Wu Nian took the bag from Su Jiran and said politely but indifferently, Thank you, Mr. Su. I need this bag. You need to give it to Avril? Su Jiran asked. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth. So, you're not going to compete? Su Jiran shrugged. A bag can't change the result. However, I'm confident that I can cooperate with Mo Shui. Do you believe me? Wu Nian looked at him. He was very sure. If Mr. Su can take away the cooperation rights, I'm willing to admit defeat. However, if you promise to be my woman for a month, I'm willing to give this opportunity to cooperate with you and make it a success, Su Jiran said evilly. Su Jiran, do you have any shame? How can you make such a request? Even if you don't let us, we can still get the cooperation rights, Lu Shuang said angrily. Don't worry. I promise you won't get the cooperation rights. Su Jiran said arrogantly and looked at Wu Nian's face. My business card is in the bag. You have 24 hours to think about it. I'll think about it, Wu Nian said lightly. Think about what? You don't even want the bag. Lu Shuang grabbed the bag from Wu Nian's hand and threw it on the ground. Su Jiran turned and left. Wu Nian picked up the bag on the ground. Xiao Nian. Are you crazy? You want to give yourself to that devil, Su Jiran. Lu Shuang didn't understand. Wu Nian glanced at Lu Shuang. If it was Baya, how do you think Baya would answer him? Of course he would tell him to get lost, Lu Shuang said without thinking. Wu Nian raised the corner of his mouth. That's right. Lu Shuang suddenly understood. You're just trying to show that you're different from Baiya. In fact, you'll definitely reject him, right? Chapter 382. I don't care what he is up to. I'd rather not work with him than have you get involved with him. Even if I don't work with him, it doesn't mean that I won't have the chance to take Xiao Bao on a vacation, Lu Shuang said with certainty. Let's take it one step at a time. They went back after dinner. Wu Nian went back to his room to sleep. Lu Shuang was also ready to go back to his room to sleep. Shen Yiyan did a lot last night and he was sleepy. As soon as she went back to her room, the butler stopped her. Madam, sir wants to invite you to the lake. What? Shen Yiyan hasn't left yet. Isn't he going back to country A? Lu Shuang said straightforwardly. The butler smiled. Master has his own arrangements. We can't interfere. Lu Shuang shrugged. He wanted to talk to Su Jiran, so he could talk to Shen Yiyan. She went to the lake to look for Shen Yiyan and saw that Gu Lingqing was there too. Did Gu Lingqing not leave or did he come back? They were in a good mood, fishing by the lake leisurely. How could she be bullied in Su Jiran? She was instantly infuriated. Shen Yiyan, a country that isn't in the morning is usually destroyed quickly. You've been here for 2 days. Don't you need to go to work? Lu Shuang said impolitely. Shen Yiyan was not angry. Instead, he smiled. You said that I need to go to work. I definitely have my annual leave. Your annual leave is long enough. You've rested for 20 days this year, right? Lu Shuang walked in front of him. Weekends are my normal days off. Business trips are also required by my work. I've only rested for 3 days. Shen Yiyan replied seriously. Lu Shuang saw that there were more than 10 fish in his bucket. He said with disdain, if you have the time to fish, why don't you think about how to work with Mo Shui? I'll fish with my competitor and leave you to think of a solution. This is also my strategy. Shen Yiyan smiled. Lu Shuang kicked the chair that Shen Yiyan was sitting on. You don't have only one competitor. Xiao Nian and I met Su Jiran in the mall today. He's very confident that he can to Mo Shui and he even asked Xiao Nian to be his woman. Gu Lingqing frowned and pressed his lips together. Oh, Su Jiran is very confident? Shen Yiyan mulled over this sentence and looked at Gu Lingqing. What do you think? There won't be any accidents. Shen Yiyan to Su to. Lu Shuang felt as if they had become partners. He was scared. Hey, Gu Lingqing, why are you helping Shen Yiyan? Gu Lingqing squinted at Lu Shuang. His eyes were as dark as ink. There are some things that the less you know, the better. Lu Shuang felt that Gu Lingqing was looking down on him. He suddenly felt embarrassed. There was an unknown fire in his heart, but he didn't know what to say to vent it. Shen Yiyan, why did you ask me to come here? Lu Shuang said unhappily. Fishing. Do you want it? Shen Yiyan handed the fishing rod to Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang pulled Shen Yiyan to stand up. Don't fish. I have something to tell you. Shen Yiyan stood up in a good mood and was dragged 100 meters away by Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang glanced at Gu Lingqing. He guessed that Gu Lingqing couldn't hear them, so he asked, why is he still here? We haven't finished talking about some military matters. Lu Shuang pointed at Shen Yiyan. Don't lie to me. Do you think I'm stupid? You're not talking about military matters. You're obviously fishing. You didn't tell Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian is Baiya, did you? Shen Yiyan smiled and held Lu Shuang's fingers. We're done talking. I asked him to stay here to fish. Lu Shuang pulled his hand out. Why did you ask him to stay? Shen Yiyan touched his nose. To help you complete your mission. Haven't you always wanted to travel? Lu Shuang looked at Shen Yiyan's face. Shen Yiyan was a smart person. Gu Lingqing was a smart person. Su Jiran was a smart person. Bai Ye was a smart person. She felt that she was very stupid. Those people talked and did things in one way or another. They seemed to be doing A, but suddenly they became B, and finally, they turned out to be C. Anyway, you can't bully Wu Nian. Lu Shuang requested. Shen Yiyan smiled and held her waist. You go back with me tomorrow morning. What? Tomorrow morning? It's Mo Shui's daughter's birthday tomorrow night. Stephen will appear to introduce her to me. It's not appropriate for me to go back tomorrow morning. Lu Shuang was confused. Is he introducing her to you or to Wu Nian? Shen Yiyan asked. Lu Shuang was a little embarrassed. He cleared his throat and said uncomfortably, introducing her to Xiao Nian means introducing her to me. Wu Nian can attend the party tomorrow. You will only make trouble if you go. Lu Shuang pushed Shen Yiyan's hand away from her waist and sneered. Hey, Shen Yiyan, in your eyes, I don't know anything, do I? Well. Shen Yiyan thought carefully. In fact, it's enough for you to know one thing. What? Lu Shuang couldn't understand what he meant. Give birth to my child. Ha. Lu Shuang smiled and looked at him coldly. Any woman can give birth. But only you can be the mother of my son. Shen Yiyan said with certainty. What? Lu Shuang stared at Shen Yiyan. Why did she feel that he was very strange today? Only she could be the mother of his son. Couldn't his wife give birth to his son? All right, go back with me. I'm worried about you in country X. Be good. Shen Yiyan said with a smile and looked at him with burning eyes. Lu Shuang shivered. What if I don't want to go back? I want to go out and play after we talk. Shen Yiyan's face darkened, and there was coldness in his eyes. Lu Shuang, do you know why you can always stay by my side? He said that as if it was his gift to her to stay by his side. Thank you, but I don't care. Lu Shuang said bluntly. Shen Yiyan pursed his lips, and his eyes became colder. He said in a harsh tone, go back with me tomorrow. It's not up to you. Lu Shuang turned around and left. He picked her up forcibly and walked to the room. 2 hours later, Wu Nian woke up and went to find Lu Shuang. She was stopped by the butler again. The butler smiled ambiguously again. Sir and madam are busy inside. Wu Nian, she turned around and Gu Lingqing walked in. When Wu Nian saw him, she lowered her head and greeted him respectfully. Mr. Gu. Gu Lingqing held Wu Nian's arm and looked at the butler. He said in a low voice, they have been busy for almost 2 hours. They should be done by now. Let them know. Yes. The butler nodded and walked to the door of Lu Shuang's room. Wu Nian. She remembered this butler. He was treating her differently. She stood beside Gu Lingqing uncomfortably. You've lost a lot of weight recently. Gu Lingqing said as he looked down at her face. I was too fat before, so I was trying to lose weight on purpose. Wu Nian replied. Chapter 383. Wu Nian liked to get along with Gu Lingqing like this. It was relaxed, free, and there were no conflicts. It was as if life was beautiful, plain, and warm. She could feel a sweet feeling flowing in her heart just by talking to him occasionally and listening to his voice. I know how to make it. Crucian carp soup with tofu. The wild crucian carp caught in this kind of lake are the most delicious, Wu Nian replied with a smile. Gu Lingqing looked at her and also smiled. It was difficult for him to smile, and his smile was extraordinarily beautiful. In addition to the crucian carp, I also caught a spotted silver carp and a black carp. Can you see what you can do? Gu Lingqing asked. Shen Yiyan walked out of the room, well-dressed, and said with a smile, it seems that I have to admit that Chief Gu is very good at fishing. I only caught a dozen small crucian carps. I'm ashamed. You deserve it, idiot. Lu Shuang came out of the room, and his face was red, not knowing whether it was because of anger or shyness. She walked in front of Wu Nian and took Wu Nian's arm. Xiao Nian, you cook tonight, and I'll be your assistant. Shen Yiyan pursed her lips and smiled. Lu Shuang glared at her. What are you smiling for? Are you white? She took Wu Nian to the kitchen, closed the door, and said, Xiao Nian, let me tell you. You weren't here just now, and I told them about Su Jiran. Gu Lingqing said there would be no accidents. I guess Gu Lingqing has a way, but I can't think of what it is. Gu Lingqing is reliable. Let's wait and see. In many things, plans can't keep up with changes. Dong, dong, dong. There was a knock on the door. Wu Nian opened the door. The housekeeper was standing at the door with 2 buckets of fish, smiling. Wu Nian took it. When Lu Shuang closed the door, he glanced at the bucket and said with disgust, there is no harm if there is no comparison. Shen Yiyan is really lousy. He caught so many fish, not even as good as Gu Lingqing's. Every profession has its own specialization. Besides, there's an element of luck in fishing. Wu Nian began to wash the fish. Lu Shuang glanced at the door and made sure that it would not be opened. He lowered his voice and said to Wu Nian, Shen Yiyan asked me to go back with him tomorrow. You help me negotiate. My condition is that if the cooperation is not successful, I have to take Xiao Bao to travel for a week next month. He agreed. That's good. Even if we don't cooperate, you can still travel. Wu Nian was also happy for Lu Shuang. That's right, that's right. When we go on a trip, we'll look to Alan. By the way, why didn't Alan contact you today? He has to fly at 8:00 this morning. Normally, he should have arrived in the UK at this time. Wu Nian took out his phone and found that there was no call from Alan. Lu Shuang grabbed Wu Nian's phone. If he doesn't call me, you should call him. You are too passive. While saying that, Lu Shuang dialed the number. It was too late for Wu Nian to stop him. The phone was connected. Lu Shuang put the phone to Wu Nian's ear. Hello. Wu Nian said. Hee. I feel much better after receiving your call. What are you doing now? Alan said softly. I'm cooking dinner. You must be tired after the trip. Have a good rest. Wu Nian was about to hang up. I'm hungry after hearing you cooking dinner. Hee. I want to taste your cooking skills. There will be a chance. After saying that, Wu Nian didn't know what else to say. He fell silent. Alan was very talkative. Then it's a deal. Once I go to country A, you have to cook dinner for me. Don't go back on your word. Okay. Wu Nian fell silent again. He was most afraid of the air suddenly becoming clean. Wu Nian felt very embarrassed. He didn't know whether to hang up or not. Alan also paused for 5 seconds and said, Xiao Nian, I have a little problem here. But don't worry. I will definitely solve it. So, I will have to trouble you for a while. Wu Nian understood that the marriage was not a trivial matter. It could change the fate of 2 families. It doesn't matter. Even if you change your mind, it doesn't matter to me. Don't put too much burden and pressure on yourself. When you feel conflicted and can't find an exit, write down all the expected situations. Good things, bad things. Add 1 point for every good thing and 1 point for every bad thing. Subtract 1 point and you will get the answer rationally. Wu Nian suggested. Alan smiled. In fact, it doesn't matter to me how many points I lose. Because I want to be with you and fight for this goal. Life is steady for me. I'm just worried that you won't give me a chance if you wait for too long. Wu Nian lowered his eyes. His long eyelashes covered the light in his eyes. He was silent and didn't reply to Alan. Hee. Alan chuckled. God is really fair to people. I always felt that my body wasn't too good, but I was able to control my feelings with ease. Now, I'm getting my comeuppance. It's okay. You can hang up. Wu Nian felt a sour feeling in his heart. Can we start from friends? Alan smiled. I am willing to be your knight. Then. I'm going to cook dinner. I'll contact you later. Okay. Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang cooperated and hung up the phone. He said with a smile, I think this Alan is quite good. He's a gentleman and I feel that he's infatuated. It's good to be friends. I'm just afraid that I won't be able to repay him if he suddenly becomes serious. However, it should just be a novelty. He doesn't look like an irrational person, Wu Nian judged. Lu Shuang wanted to say something but stopped. In the end, he didn't say anything to persuade her. She knew that Wu Nian had his own thoughts and wouldn't listen to her. Wu Nian made tofu fish soup, pickled fish with pickled vegetables, fish head with chopped peppers, fish sliders with green peppers, braised carp, and steamed green jade meat. Gu Lingqing stayed for dinner. They chatted casually and skipped sensitive topics. Lu Shuang and Shen Yiyan were going back to China the next morning. So, they left after dinner. Wu Nian sent Gu Lingqing out. Do you need me to pick you up for the banquet tomorrow? Gu Lingqing asked. No need. I'll drive myself. Wu Nian refused. Okay. Be careful on the way. Gu Lingqing said. Okay. Be careful on the way. Wu Nian nodded respectfully. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. After this incident, they would go back to China. She would live in his house for a long time. He was looking forward to their return and wanted to be by her side all the time. However, they had to separate now. Did Xiao Yan call you? Gu Lingqing asked. Wu Nian shook her head. Speaking of Xiao Yan, she began to miss him. Children are like this. Their enthusiasm lasts only for a short time. If you are not by their side, they will easily forget you. It will be better if you get to know them better in the future. Maybe, after 2 or 3 years, they will remember you. Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Okay. Don't worry, Mr. Gu. I will take good care of your children. Since I want to use you, I won't doubt your ability anymore. See you tomorrow. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. His eyes never left her. He wanted to see her from time to time. Then, see you tomorrow. Wu Nian replied. Chapter 384. Lu Shuang left for the airport at 8:00. Shen Yiyan's private plane was parked there. Wu Nian went to see him off. Lu Shuang said reluctantly, It's fine if it doesn't work out. Shen Yiyan has promised to give me a week to travel. Although it's not much time, it's enough for me to escape. Don't force yourself and come back early. Wu Nian smiled. I understand. Be careful. I don't think Shen Yiyan's men have the guts to kill you. Maybe there's someone else behind it. Lu Shuang shrugged. I'm leaving soon anyway. Those people started it because of Shen Yiyan. I'll be safe once I leave Shen Yiyan. Okay, have a safe trip. Wu Nian said softly. Lu Shuang turned around, walked a few steps and looked back at Wu Nian. Wu Nian was smarter than her, more thorough and more rational than her. It was useless for her to worry. However, she didn't know why she felt so uneasy. Wu Nian waved and Lu Shuang got on the plane. She watched Lu Shuang's plane fly away, then turned around and went back to the airport. In the afternoon, she went to the beauty salon. Avril's birthday party was full of celebrities and socialites. She was going there to discuss a business deal, so it wasn't appropriate for her to dress shabbily. After a whole morning, she combed her hair, put on exquisite makeup, changed into an orange princess dress, revealed her fair neck, and put on the diamond necklace that was sold in the afternoon. She went to the party at 6 o'clock. She thought she would be early, but she didn't expect that another 40 or 50 people would arrive. She looked for Gu Lingqing and Stephen subconsciously. Gu Lingqing didn't see them, neither did Stephen, nor did Mo Shui. She walked up and gave the LV bag to Avril first. Happy birthday. Avril was very arrogant and disinterested. She handed her bag to the maid next to her and said to Wu Nian lazily, "Suit yourself." Wu Nian nodded, took a glass of red wine, and stood in the corner. Many men came over to hit on her, but she rejected them all. There were more and more people in the banquet hall. Wu Nian still hadn't seen Gu Lingqing and Stephen, so he went outside to wait. From the private room next door, an elegant woman walked out and answered the phone with a smile. "Jie Ran, where are you?" "All right, I'll go now." Arrogant? Was he referring to Su Jiran? Wu Nian recalled how confident Su Jiran was when he followed the lady out. She watched as the lady went to the parking lot and got into a black Maybach. Wu Nian was suspicious. He arched his body and quietly approached. Jie Ran, be gentler." Wu Nian blushed and looked up at the Maybach. The Maybach vibrated. She arched his body and walked back, only to see a pair of bright leather shoes. She blushed and looked up, only to see Gu Lingqing. "What are you doing here?" Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. "That." Wu Nian found it hard to say. "See for yourself." "See what?" Gu Lingqing didn't understand. Wu Nian pushed her away and walked into the hotel. Gu Lingqing looked at the parking lot and saw a car vibrating violently. He understood and his Adam's apple bobbed sexily. He turned around and walked into the hotel. Wu Nian was still waiting for the elevator. Seeing Gu Lingqing walk over, she thought of the Maybach and felt very uncomfortable. "Is it nice?" Gu Lingqing looked down at her and asked. "I saw a woman answering a phone from the private room next to the banquet hall. She said something about Jie Ran. I thought it was Su Jiran and wanted to see what they were up to. I didn't expect." Wu Nian explained. "That Maybach is Su Jiran's. The woman you're talking about should be Mo Shui," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian, she knew that Su Jiran was good at playing with his girlfriends, but he only played with young and beautiful girls. It wasn't that Mo Shui wasn't beautiful, but she should be over 50 years old. Su Jiran's taste and methods were unbelievable. "Then, there's no hope for us to work together, right?" Wu Nian judged. Gu Lingqing smiled. "I said there won't be any accidents. Don't you believe me?" He was talking to Shen Yiyan and Lu Shuang. How could he be so sure that she knew? The elevator opened with a ding. Gu Lingqing asked Wu Nian to go in first. "When Stephen comes later, pretend that you don't know about the relationship between Mo Shui and Su Jiran. Communicate as usual. I will help you." "Okay," Wu Nian answered. She trusted Gu Lingqing for no reason. He could do what he said. They entered the banquet hall together. When Avril saw Gu Lingqing, she ran over with a smile as if she was on steroids. She reached out to Gu Lingqing. "Where's the present?" "It's my birthday today. I've been waiting for your present for a long time." Gu Lingqing took out a small jewelry box from his pocket and placed it in Avril's hand. Avril opened it excitedly. It was a beautiful hair clip with her English name as the base. It was made of platinum and inlaid with diamonds. "It's so beautiful. This is the best present I've received today." "Thank you, Qing. Can you put it on for me?" Avril handed the hair clip to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing took it and put it on for her. Avril smiled like a blooming flower. She quickly kissed Gu Lingqing on the cheek. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth and turned around. There was a strange feeling in her heart. Her eyes were wet. She walked out of the banquet hall again. She stood at the entrance of the corridor and leaned against the wall. She lowered her head and looked at the ground in silence. In this world, Two things that were difficult to do were to let go and to fulfill someone's wish. She had already decided to let go and fulfill someone's wish, but when she saw him being intimate with another girl, she still couldn't stay calm. Humans were really contradictory and strange creatures. She calmed herself down for 10 minutes. She convinced herself and adjusted her mood. She went back to the banquet hall and saw Stephen. Stephen was talking to Gu Lingqing. He seemed to be in a good mood. Wu Nian walked up to him and said with a smile, "Good evening, Stephen." Stephen looked at Wu Nian and praised her with admiration. "Wow, I haven't seen you for a few days. You've lost a lot of weight. You've become even more beautiful." "Thank you," Wu Nian said politely. "I haven't seen Mo Shui yet. I'll introduce her to you when I see her later," Stephen said with a smile. He looked at Gu Lingqing and his eyes lit up. They waited for another 20 minutes. Wu Nian saw the lady who had a tryst with Su Jiran walk in. She had put her hair up when she went out. Now, it was down. "She's here," Stephen said and walked toward Mo Shui. "Long time no see, Shui-er," Stephen said with a smile. Mo Shui chuckled. "It's been a long time. I thought you were dead." "You're not dead. How would I dare die?" "I'll definitely wait for you to die before I die," Stephen said with a smile. Wu Nian was speechless. Chapter 385. You're thinking too much. Look, I still have black hair and you already have white hair. It's impossible for you to live longer than me, Mo Shui said bluntly. "Alright, you've lived for a long time. That's good enough. I'm here to talk to you about something." Stephen got back to business. "What is it? You don't look like anything good." Mo Shui rolled her eyes at Stephen. "Didn't you say that when you're old, I'll give you another painting called Dream Realization?" "I'll paint it for you while I'm still alive," Stephen said. Mo Shui was tempted and the sharpness in her eyes faded a little. "I'm not free today. It's Avril's birthday. How about tomorrow?" "I'll be free tomorrow." "Before I paint, I have a friend I want to introduce to you," Stephen said. Mo Shui looked at Wu Nian who was standing beside Stephen. "Your lover. Don't talk nonsense. She's Alan's girlfriend at the moment. She's from A and wants to be your business partner in a country," Stephen said directly. Mo Shui lowered her eyes and crossed her arms. "I already have a business partner in a country. Sorry. Think about it again, please." Stephen's tone softened. Mo Shui frowned. "What kind of relationship do you have with her? Does she need you, who treats money like dirt, to beg for her? Ollie and Lisa killed Kyle, and she helped me find Casey, who killed Ollie and Lisa. At the critical moment, she even saved my life. Shui, can you help me?" Stephen said softly. "Wouldn't she be my enemy if she saved you?" Mo Shui said sarcastically. "If that's what you think, then it's my fault for coming here. I'm leaving now. We'll never meet again in this life." Stephen walked towards the door. Mo Shui's eyes flashed with a complicated look. "Wait." Stephen glanced at her. "I'll think about it," Mo Shui said in a low voice. Stephen smiled. "Today is your daughter's birthday and you have a lover here. I won't bother you anymore. Call me tomorrow when you're free." Mo Shui's eyes darkened as she watched Stephen walk away. Wu Nian couldn't understand Mo Shui. She could see the reluctance in Mo Shui's eyes, but she had already slept with Su Jiran. Perhaps sex and love could be managed separately for her. An American classmate of hers had once done a similar research. A man told his girlfriend that he had 5 girlfriends and that it depended on their attitude. The responses of China, the US, and Japan were very different. The American girlfriend was not angry and even joked with her boyfriend, not caring at all. The Chinese girlfriend was very angry, questioning, feeling wronged, suspicious, crying, upset, and hysterical. The Japanese girlfriend said on the surface that he was awesome, but behind his back, she was sad. Nowadays, in many developed countries, people are becoming more and more indifferent to sex. At the same time, relationships are getting weaker and weaker. Marriage is just another way of getting along. Where's Imo Shui? Who's Imo Shui? A woman shouted. Wu Nian came back to his senses and looked at the woman. The woman walked up angrily and slapped Imo Shui's face. She said angrily, "Tell me, did you spread the disease to Su Jiran? I have AIDS now." Imo Shui covered her face. She was angry at first, but after hearing the woman's words, she was shocked and panicked. "Are you saying that Su Jiran has AIDS? I've checked on the women he slept with in country X. They didn't have AIDS before, so you're the only one who could have it. You're a pair of adulterers," the woman said angrily. Imo Shui's face turned pale. "You're mistaken. I don't have it either." "What? You don't have it either? Did Su Jiran carry it himself?" The woman was shocked. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Su Jiran walked in and looked at the woman who was causing trouble. "Su Jiran, you're going to get me killed." The woman rushed towards Su Jiran and raised her hand. Before she could slap Su Jiran grabbed her wrist. "What are you doing here? Tell me, who ordered you to do this?" Su Jiran said sternly. "What order? I've just found out that I have AIDS. You're the only one who slept with me these days. Are you still going to deny it?" The woman said with red eyes. Su Jiran flung the woman's hand away. "I know very well whether I have AIDS or not. If you continue to spout nonsense, I will make sure you suffer the consequences." "Are you trying to scare me now? You kept saying, 'Baby, you're amazing,' and 'Baby, you're amazing' when you're having sex with me. Those are all bullsh**. Su Jiran, you're a pervert and a piece of trash." The woman scolded. Su Jiran's face was ashen as he pulled the woman out. Imo Shui's phone rang. She saw that it was a video sent by someone and accepted it. It was a video of Su Jiran having sex with a girl. Imo Shui hung up the phone angrily and walked out of the banquet with a pale face. Su Jiran stopped Imo Shui. "It's all a misunderstanding. She's slandering me on purpose. I can go to the hospital right now to prove that I'm not sick." Imo Shui slapped Su Jiran's face. "You're the dirtiest person I've ever slept with. There's no need to talk about cooperation." Imo Shui left angrily. Su Jiran furrowed his brows and looked at Wu Nian with hatred in his pitch-black eyes. Wu Nian looked at him with drooping eyes. As the saying goes, it's easier to change a leopard than a leopard. It was true. If a man cheated on her once, there would be a second time. If a man played with a woman once, there would be a second time. Even a dog can't change its spots. She was glad that she didn't let Su Jiran have it even in death. Avril saw that the situation was getting out of control and everyone was talking about it. She went on stage and said with a smile, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to my birthday party. I'm honored to announce that I, Avril, have found a man worthy of my love. He is Gu Lingqing." Avril pointed at Gu Lingqing and the lights found Gu Lingqing. He stood in the middle of the crowd and was even more dazzling than the lights. Avril smiled sweetly and walked towards Gu Lingqing. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. He imagined some scenes and found it hard to breathe. Many people were excited. They clapped their hands and shouted, "Together, together, kiss, kiss." Wu Nian turned around and walked out quickly. She saw that Su Jiran was waiting for the elevator to go down. She didn't want to meet Su Jiran in case it caused unnecessary trouble. She went up the stairs to the top floor and took a breath of fresh air. The night in X City was beautiful. The lights were red and green, like the sea of stars. Wu Nian leaned on the railing and looked at it for a long time. She guessed that the cooperation between Su Jiran and Imo Shui was over. Stephen would meet Imo Shui tomorrow, so she might have to stay for a few more days. She felt warmth on her shoulder, and a familiar smell wafted into her nose. A suit was draped over her. Chapter 386. You. Wu Nian wanted to ask how did he know that she was on the rooftop. But on second thought, Gu Lingqing should also be on the rooftop and they just happened to meet each other. What a coincidence. Wu Nian changed her words. Not a coincidence. I came here to look for you. Gu Lingqing said with a deep voice. Huh? Wu Nian was surprised. He saw you coming up here. Su Jiran should not be your competitor. Stephen is staying in this hotel. You can stay here today. Tomorrow, Stephen will bring you along when he paints for Imo Shui, Gu Lingqing said. Okay, thank you. Wu Nian said lightly. If everything goes well, you will sign the contract with Imo Shui the day after tomorrow. I will ask the lawyer to accompany you in case anything goes wrong. Gu Lingqing said again. Wu Nian had a strange feeling in her heart. If everything goes according to normal development, you should get the cooperation rights this time. I am curious, why did Mr. Gu give it to someone else? Didn't I tell you that I will give this cooperation to you and help you to complete it? You've always had a bad memory. Gu Lingqing said confidently. She remembered this, but she did not know why Gu Lingqing gave it to her. Was it because he wanted her to work for him? If she thought about it any further, she would think too highly of herself. You, Wu Nian smiled awkwardly. Do you think that I am Baya? If you are Baya, you should have told me. After all, we went through life and death together and had some good times. When we were separated, we were forced to separate. I don't understand why you didn't tell me that you are Baya. Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Wu Nian looked down. If your wife is still alive, she will definitely come back when she sees that you are so infatuated with her. You are so hypocritical. Gu Lingqing blurted out. Wu Nian, she looked at him guiltily and frowned. In fact, everyone knows she's dead. It's been 2 years. If she wanted to come back, she would have come back a long time ago, Gu Lingqing added. Wu Nian instinctively felt that no matter what she said, Gu Lingqing's words would not be pleasant to hear, so she simply ignored him and looked at her phone. It was already 11:10 p.m. Well, it's getting late. I'll go back first. When do you plan to come to my house to work? Gu Lingqing locked her eyes and asked. When we go back, do you need to sign the contract? Wu Nian asked. You really have a bad memory. Don't you remember what we agreed on? We agreed in Stephen's place that you will work at my house and be responsible for taking care of my children before my wife comes back. Gu Lingqing spoke very harshly. She seemed to be in a bad mood and was venting her anger on her. His body is full of sweat. I say, Mr. Gu, you already said that your wife is dead. If I take care of your wife until she comes back, wouldn't that be the same as taking care of her for the rest of her life? Wu Nian retorted. Didn't we agree on a lifetime? What about your children after they get married? It's not appropriate for me to stay at your house anymore. I'm a private tutor, Wu Nian reminded. Then I'll take care of my children's children. When I go back, I'll buy a villa. They won't leave home. Even if they get married, I'll ask them to stay together. Wu Nian, she had a feeling that he was deliberately bickering with her. She couldn't win against him. Got it. I'm going back to sleep. She walked towards the door and pulled it, but it didn't open. She pushed the door, but it didn't open either. She got anxious. Gu Lingqing, did you close the door when you came just now? Gu Lingqing frowned and went over to help Wu Nian open the door. His palm touched the back of her palm, and Wu Nian instinctively withdrew her hand. Gu Lingqing's eyes flashed with annoyance. He looked at her angrily. I didn't close the door. It might have been blown by the wind. Then what should we do? Wu Nian pushed the door hard, but it still wouldn't open. You can open it from the inside, right? Wu Nian asked. I don't own this hotel. How would I know? Gu Lingqing replied in a low voice. Wu Nian remembered that Stephen was staying in this hotel. She immediately called him. Stephen's phone was switched off. She looked at Gu Lingqing for help. Lu Shuang was back in China now. It would take 3 hours for the people from the manor to come over. It was already midnight. Well, Avril is having a birthday party downstairs. Call her and ask her to come over, Wu Nian requested. You don't want to be in the same space as me? Gu Lingqing asked. No, I still have to go to your house to work after I go back. We're on the rooftop now. It's a little cold, and it's getting late, Wu Nian explained. Gu Lingqing put his arm around her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. It won't be so cold this way. Also, it's not appropriate for me to call Avril. Some people can't achieve anything, but they can ruin things. If she sees me with you, she won't be willing to let her mother work with you. Wu Nian thought about it and agreed. When she left, she saw Avril confessing to him. She pushed him away subconsciously and asked, Do you know anyone else? You can come over and drive us. Gu Lingqing looked at her helplessly. I'll call Stephen. I just called him. His phone is switched off, Wu Nian said disappointedly. Then let's wait. Gu Lingqing turned around and walked towards the attic. She pushed the door, and it was open. Come over here, Gu Lingqing said to Wu Nian. Wu Nian adjusted Gu Lingqing's suit. She was a little hesitant and didn't walk over. Gu Lingqing didn't know what she was doing. Was she afraid that he would eat her up? They had already given birth to a child. He sulked and turned on the flashlight on his phone. He found the switch on the wall and pressed it. Luckily, the electricity was on. The room was filled with cleaning products and cardboard boxes. He estimated that the cleaner would come over early the next morning to pick up the things. He put the mop and other cleaning products outside the door. He tore open the boxes and spread them on the floor. Wu Nian walked over and helped him quietly. Gu Lingqing glanced at her. Wu Nian blushed and continued to work. The two of them worked for 15 minutes and made a bed. Go to sleep. Someone should open the door at 6 o'clock at the most. I'll go out for a smoke. You're a heavy smoker, Wu Nian asked with concern. You're nobody to me. I don't need your concern. Gu Lingqing went out with a cold face. Wu Nian looked down. Yes, she was not even in the position to care. Wu Nian lay down on the cardboard and closed her eyes. However, she couldn't fall asleep at all. 10 minutes later, Gu Lingqing came in and lay down beside her. Wu Nian smelled the smoke on his body, and his heart ached. Now, Gu Lingqing thought that Baya was dead. That was good. He could start a life of faith. Wu Nian slowly opened her eyes and looked into Gu Lingqing's deep eyes. Her heart tightened. Gu Lingqing turned over, pressed her down on the cardboard, and kissed her lips. Wu Nian opened her eyes wide in shock and subconsciously pushed his shoulders. Chapter 387. Wu Nian was shocked. She didn't expect Gu Lingqing to do this. She pushed his hand in panic. The more she pushed him, the stronger he was. She couldn't resist at all. She turned her face away and wanted to break away from his lips. At least she could speak. It was good to wake up Gu Lingqing. He looked like he had lost his mind. But he didn't let her escape at all. He pressed her head and kissed her fiercely like a storm. His breath was on her face, and the strength of his hands was increasing. She felt ashamed, but she had a reaction that was hard to say. When the Creator created women, he forgot to make a lock below, so sometimes it was passive. Gu Lingqing kissed for 5 minutes. He didn't stop. Instead, he went deeper, as if he had melted his 2 years of waiting, pain, heartache, and resentment into this kiss. Wu Nian struggled until she had no strength left. He took the opportunity to pull down her pants. Wu Nian reacted. He was dragging her but she was imagining it. Wu Nian groaned. Gu Lingqing let go of her lips. She looked at him with red eyes and pursed her lips. Gu Lingqing didn't move. He said in a low voice, "Since I want you, I will be responsible." Wu Nian punched him on the shoulder. She was no longer an 18-year-old girl. It was useless to cry when such a thing happened. It was unrealistic to ask him to go out. Men wouldn't want to leave unless there was a special situation before they could relieve themselves. Gu Lingqing held her hand. Since she didn't admit that she was Baiya, it didn't matter. He wouldn't force her. He would treat her as Wu Nian and pursue her again. Gu Lingqing kissed her hand. Wu Nian withdrew her hand. He kissed her lips again and turned his face away. He still touched the place where she couldn't avoid. Wu Nian pushed his hand. It was already like this, but she felt aggrieved if she didn't do anything. Gu Lingqing held her hand that was messing around and pressed it against her side. He said hoarsely, "You reacted very well. This is the same as your cavernous body. It's the human body's self-protection mechanism. You're so big, so you'll definitely feel pain," Wu Nian explained. Gu Lingqing smiled. "I'll be gentler. Don't push me anymore." Wu Nian's heart throbbed. He was very familiar with this side of him. "I can sue you." Gu Lingqing kissed her lips. Wu Nian saw that he wasn't afraid, nor was he angry. It was as if he had her in his grasp. She certainly would not sue him. On the one hand, he was Xiao Yan's father, and Xiao Yan needed his father to take care of him. On the other hand, she valued his reputation more than her life. How could she do anything to hurt him? However, she felt very aggrieved. The corners of Gu Lingqing's lips curled up. Before he could relax, he felt that his body and mind were both satisfied. He suddenly became enlightened, and the hostility on his body also disappeared. He became gentle, and he undid the zipper on her back. "No, I'm cold," Wu Nian rejected him. "Hug me tightly if you're cold." "I'm hot," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian, however, he didn't take off her dress. He was afraid that she would really be cold. He just pulled her dress down and revealed the gel pad. Wu Nian blushed. "Don't take it off." He didn't know how to play with it. Girls' things were unfamiliar to him. He kissed her chest, collarbone and retreated. Wu Nian knew what he was going to do. She held his arm. "Don't be like this. I haven't showered yet." Gu Lingqing laughed. He even said that she wasn't Baiya. He knew his habits, so she knew what he was going to do the moment he retreated. "Then I'm coming in," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian didn't know whether to agree or not. She turned her face away. He turned her face. "Wu Nian, I like you. What I said to you previously wasn't a lie." Wu Nian's heart was beating extremely fast. Under his patience, she became more and more emotional. She now knew why Alan was so good, but she only felt like a burden. Because her heart was still with Gu Lingqing. She knew that she couldn't accept Alan, so she felt apologetic and guilty. However, she was an inauspicious person. If she stayed by Gu Lingqing's side, she would only be a burden. She didn't want the things in the past to happen again. She just wanted to see him safe and sound from afar. After Gu Lingqing did that, he still hugged her tightly, as if he was afraid that she would disappear. Wu Nian frowned. She had already slept with him. She didn't think that going to his house was just to be a home tutor. However, she couldn't directly reject the opportunity to be by Xiao Yan's side. If she rejected it, the opportunity wouldn't come again. If she turned back, it probably wouldn't be so simple. Maybe it was because her mind was still not clear, or maybe it was too late and her mind was muddled. She felt a little annoyed, so she closed her eyes and calmed down for a few minutes. "Are we considered to be buddies?" Wu Nian asked. Gu Lingqing looked at her, covered the two of them with the clothes and said with certainty, "I treat you as my girlfriend." I don't want to, Wu Nian emphasized. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. Then how do you want me to make it up to you? We can't let a third party know about our relationship. If a third party knows, I will immediately move out of your house and our contract will be terminated. Besides. Wu Nian pursed her lips. Besides, he couldn't stop her from seeing Xiao Yan. But saying this would be too targeted. She was afraid that Gu Lingqing would suspect her. Besides what? Gu Lingqing asked with a good temper. You have to promise me 3 things unconditionally. Wu Nian changed her words. Gu Lingqing smiled. Okay, I promise you everything. Wu Nian lowered her head. She actually slept with Gu Lingqing again. Everything, it was like a dream, so unreal, so beyond her imagination and control. Sure enough, the plan was not as fast as the changes. Break up with Alan. Gu Lingqing requested. She had slept with Gu Lingqing now, and it was not good to delay Alan. Wu Nian nodded. She should renegotiate with Alan. You don't have to worry about Lu Shuang. I will arrange it. It is safer than Alan's arrangement. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian looked at Gu Lingqing in surprise. How do you know? Lu Shuang is not a businessman. She must have made an agreement with Shen Yiyan when she got involved in this cooperation. What she wants most is to leave Shen Yiyan. That's why she did it herself and even went to Stephen's Island. Gu Lingqing guessed. Wu Nian's eyes darkened. She believed that as long as Gu Lingqing intervened, Lu Shuang would definitely leave. However, she was afraid that he would become enemies with Shen Yiyan. He was different from Alan. Alan was a British aristocrat. Even if Shen Yiyan knew that it was Alan who did it, she would not do anything to Alan for the sake of the overall situation. But he was different. He was from Country A. His company was in Country A. His parents, family, brothers and friends were all in Country A. Chapter 388. She couldn't drag him down as soon as she had sex with him. Mr. Gu. What did you call me? Gu Lingqing frowned. You promised me that you wouldn't let a third person know. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way I address you. You don't have to be angry with me, Wu Nian retorted. I'll pay attention when there are many people around. But now, it's just the 2 of us. The way you address me is too distant. It makes me feel distant, Gu Lingqing explained. Wu Nian thought about it and changed the way she addressed him. Lingqing, it's like this. You've misunderstood Lu Shuang. It's not about that. Ever since he got together with Shen Yiyan, he had a falling out with his family. You don't have to worry about this. After all, the one who started the trouble has to end it. Is that really the case? Then why did you get close to Alan? Gu Lingqing was suspicious. Shen Yiyan said that if we can't get the painting at the auction, we should look for Alan. Alan and Stephen are good friends. Coincidentally, I saved Alan on the plane. So, I got close to Alan and asked him to bring us to the island, Wu Nian said. We've already been to the island. Alan has already returned to China. He has a fiancée. You shouldn't contact him anymore, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian looked down. I'm a little sleepy. I'll sleep for a while. She closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing didn't say anything else. She rolled over, her back to him. She and Gu Lingqing were like this. She couldn't keep Alan waiting. But there were some things that she needed Alan's help with. She thought that she wouldn't be able to sleep. Unexpectedly, she slept until dawn and woke up when someone came to open the door. Hey, why are you here? The cleaner yelled. Wu Nian thought of what she did with Gu Lingqing last night. She blushed and felt a little embarrassed. She could tell from the cleaner's eyes that she wasn't innocent. Gu Lingqing took out $100 and gave it to the cleaner. I was accidentally locked on the rooftop yesterday. Don't tell anyone about this. Oh. The cleaner took the money and readily agreed. Gu Lingqing pulled Wu Nian up and held her hand as they walked towards the exit. Wu Nian pulled her hand back. Gu Lingqing glanced at her. It's still early. Stephen probably hasn't woken up yet. I'll book a room here. You can rest there for a while. I'll go out and buy clothes for you later. It's still early and the mall isn't open yet. I'll go back and pack my luggage. I'll go back tomorrow after the negotiation, Wu Nian said with her head lowered. You should rest. You got up early yesterday morning to send Lu Shuang off, and you slept so late last night. You have dark circles under your eyes. Also, if Mo Shui calls Stephen, he will take you there. If you go back to the manor, you might have to wait for a few hours. Mo Shui can't wait. Mo Shui can't wait, Gu Lingqing said gently. Wu Nian couldn't dissuade him. I'll book the room myself. Gu Lingqing didn't force her. When Wu Nian was booking a room at the front desk, her phone rang. She took it out and saw that it was a message from the bank, reminding her that her account had increased to 10 million. Gu Lingqing also texted her. Ask me if it's not enough. Wu Nian was speechless. I have money. It's not appropriate for me to take your money. I'll return it to you when I get back. Wu Nian texted Gu Lingqing back. How much savings does your teacher at the orphanage have? The cheapest room here is more than 3,000. Where did you get so much money? Gu Lingqing also texted her back. Wu Nian pursed her lips and looked at Gu Lingqing. He kept his phone and looked at her too. Wu Nian lowered her head and texted, I won more than $1 million from Su Jiran last time. It's enough for me to use for the rest of my life. I'll leave the money with you. Help me save it and give it to me when I need it. Gu Lingqing replied and added, let's not talk about this anymore. I'll go out and buy clothes for you. I'll go buy it myself. Don't you know what I like? Wu Nian texted him quickly, but Gu Lingqing had already left. She was speechless. Wu Nian went back to her room and took a hot shower. She put on the hotel bathrobe and lay on the bed to sleep. She didn't know how long she had slept, but she was woken up by her phone ringing. She took out her phone from her bag and saw it was a call from Stephen. She picked it up immediately. I'm sorry. I didn't want that B*TCH to disturb me last night, so I turned off my phone. Are you looking for me to talk about a collaboration? Stephen said with a smile. Wu Nian was ambiguous and answered with a dry smile. She was the one who asked him to open the door on the rooftop yesterday. Now that they had all come down from the rooftop, she felt guilty if others knew that she and Gu Lingqing had spent the whole night on the rooftop. Don't worry about that. I've promised Gu Lingqing that I'll bring you along when I go to paint for her. Have you prepared the business plan? Stephen asked. Business plan, right? Wu Nian hesitated. I know you. Only people who want to do business understand. You can ask Lingqing when you're free. Lingqing should know about it. You should prepare it early. Mo Shui is a very picky person. That's all for now. I'm going to have breakfast first. I'll call you after she calls me. Stephen said and hung up the phone. Wu Nian looked at the time. It was 11 am. Stephen ate his breakfast a little later than usual. She called Gu Lingqing. You're up? Gu Lingqing asked. Yes. Do you know about the business plan? Wu Nian asked. Come and open the door, Gu Lingqing said. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. She got off the bed and put on the hotel's disposable slippers. She walked to the door and looked through the peephole. Gu Lingqing was standing at her door. She opened the door in surprise. Gu Lingqing was carrying several bags in her hands. Have you been here for a long time? Wu Nian asked softly. No, I just got here, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. She walked in and put all the bags on the sofa. She turned around and looked at her. Wu Yan then remembered that she was still wearing the hotel bathrobe. She didn't wear anything inside. She adjusted her clothes awkwardly. "I've finished the business plan. Change your clothes first. I'll take you out for dinner," Gu Lingqing said and sat down on the sofa. She took out a stack of papers from one of the bags and put it on the coffee table. Wu Yan picked it up and flipped through it. It was all professional jargon of jewelry business. She couldn't understand it. The only thing she could understand were some branches and some data. "Have you talked to Shinian about this?" "Yes." "If Mo Shui doesn't agree, will we give in?" "No." Gu Lingqing looked at her. "Aren't you going to change your clothes?" "Oh." Wu Yan felt awkward. She tucked her hair behind her ear, picked up the clothes on the sofa and walked to the bathroom. She deliberately locked the door. "Gu Lingqing," he walked up and knocked on the door. Chapter 389. "Wash your hands," Gu Lingqing said. "Okay." Wu Yan opened the door and stood at the side. Gu Lingqing turned on the tap, absorbed the water, and looked at Wu Yan in the mirror. She stood quietly at the side, her eyes slightly lowered, as if she was following his gaze. He thought of her stubbornness, and his gaze sharpened. "Why did you lock the door? Are you afraid that I'll eat you up?" It's a habit," Wu Yan explained. Gu Lingqing turned around and looked at her. "Did you call Alan?" "I came back too early. I just woke up, and I didn't have the time." "Is it because you don't want to call?" Gu Lingqing questioned, his gaze locked onto her. Wu Yan felt the pressure increase. "You don't believe me? I'm afraid that you'll run away, or go out and pretend that you don't know me. You're 6 years younger than me, and you have a lot of youth to play with. I have 2 kids, and I can't wait," Gu Lingqing said sarcastically. Why did Wu Yan feel that he was talking about Baya? His gaze was locked. "Even if you have 2 kids, there are still plenty of women who like you. Didn't Avril confess to you last night? Are there more women who like me than you? Su Jiran, Alan, and others I don't know. Am I the spare tire or are they the spare tire?" Gu Lingqing said angrily. Spare tire? He was the one who was too domineering and forced his way in. She had never planned to date him again, and it was all her fault. She was a fickle woman, and she played with love. Wu Yan's gaze turned cold, and his expression hardened. "If you think you're the spare tire, then you're the spare tire. If you think so, I can't change your mind. Now, I'm going to change, please get out." Gu Lingqing held her shoulders and pushed her against the wall. His eyes were bloodshot. "You don't care about me that much? You don't even want to explain if I think so? If you don't believe me, no matter how I explain, it's useless. How do you expect me to believe you?" Gu Lingqing said in a low voice and looked at her sharply. Wu Yan looked at him coldly. "Since you don't believe me, why should I say more? If you want to end our relationship, then end it." Gu Lingqing purses her lips and looks at her. Her black pupils are locked, and her breathing becomes unstable, all on her face. "It's over, right?" Gu Lingqing asked. Wu Yan's heart was filled with sorrow, but he didn't plan to start or end, so he didn't feel too conflicted. He nodded. "Stop dreaming. It's impossible. I'll wait for you outside." Gu Lingqing walked out, looking a little dispirited. Wu Yan stared blankly for a while, then sighed. His eyes became misty. How many lovers did a person's sin have to drag down before he could be set free? She wiped her tears and looked at herself in the mirror. Didn't they say that plastic surgery and changing one's name could change one's fate and original trajectory? Why did she feel that after going around in circles, she was still back to the starting point? She wiped her tears, splashed her face with cold water, and dried the water on her face. Her eyes were a little red. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and opened them again. She regained her composure, changed her clothes, and went out. Gu Lingqing smoked 3 cigarettes and was smoking the 4th. Wu Nian snatched the cigarette from his hand and pinched out the butt. Smoking is bad for your health. Gu Lingqing hugged her waist and held her in his arms. He lowered his head and kissed her lips. It was hard, forceful, fierce, and surging. The strong masculine breath mixed with the mature smell of smoke rushed into her internal organs, and Wu Nian couldn't resist it at all. Based on her understanding of Gu Lingqing, at this moment, if she pushed him away, he would kiss her even deeper. She would be even more unable to resist, and could only let him kiss her. Gu Lingqing kissed her for 5 minutes before letting her go. His eyes were filled with pain, and he asked, "You study psychology. Tell me, what should I do now?" There are 2 kinds of feelings in the world that are the most tempting. One is that you can't get it, and the other is that you have lost it. In fact, if you jump out of this mental barrier, you will find that there are many better people in the world. Is that what you think? So, you will quickly forget a relationship, even if that relationship is hard and unforgettable. Gu Lingqing questioned. What I think is not important. What's important is that you think so. Wu Nian said softly. I want to be with you, to live a simple life. There doesn't need to be many things happening every day. As long as we have breakfast together, have dinner together, sleep on the same bed, we can discuss our children's studies, growth, and troubles in life. We can grow old together. That's good enough. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. His eyes were red. He didn't ask for much. He didn't ask for much. It would be good if he didn't have to wait all the time. Wu Nian's eyes were also red. The emotions that she had tried so hard to control were stirred, and tears flowed out. She yearned for the kind of life that Gu Lingqing talked about. That was a home. No matter how far she drifted, she would want to go back. In this life, people come and go alone. They look for things, grow up alone, and work alone. They only want to find someone they can protect. Then, they won't be lonely anymore. Their soul will also have a home. When they die, they won't feel that their life has been in vain. However, she was afraid that if she stayed by his side, he would only die. If he died, her world would collapse. She just wanted to stay by his side quietly, take care of him, take care of Xiao Yan. That was enough for her. When Gu Lingqing saw her crying, all his anger, complaints, and unwillingness turned into pity. He kissed her tears. Xiao Yan, we can do it. Wu Nian nodded. Gu Lingqing kissed her again. You must be hungry. Let's go out to eat first. Wu Nian shook her head. I'll order in my room to eat. It's too dangerous to eat outside. What's the danger you're talking about? Gu Lingqing asked sharply. I don't want other people to find out about our relationship, Wu Nian said. What if other people find out about our relationship? What kind of danger will happen? Gu Lingqing asked. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Wu Nian wanted to get down from Gu Lingqing's lap. Gu Lingqing hugged her and didn't let her get down. Wu Nian, you're a coward. Whenever you encounter something, you like to hide in your shell. That's because you don't know my past and the way my character was nurtured. I'm a coward. What's wrong with being a coward? Those who died before me were all bold and ignorant. That's just my character. If you like me, then like me. If not, then forget it. Gu Lingqing let go of Wu Nian. Wu Nian stood up. She didn't dare to look at Gu Lingqing. She picked up the built-in phone and called the front desk to order food. She heard a bang and looked at the door. Gu Lingqing had gone out. Chapter 390. Gu Lingqing was such a proud person. But she used his love to hurt him wantonly. She tried her best to show him that a woman was willful, domineering, unreasonable, mean, and difficult to get along with. She would soon push him far, far away, until his love was consumed. But it didn't matter, as long as she loved him, as long as she knew that she was doing the right thing. Gu Lingqing had sacrificed a lot for her. She still remembered how he looked in his military uniform. He was upright and righteous, and his gaze could determine victory from 1,000 miles away. It was a kind of arrogance, a kind of pride. She still remembered when they first met. He said, "I am a soldier, I will protect you." He went to a military school to study at a very early age. He started as a special forces soldier and made great achievements. Without the help of his family, he risked his life to go deep into the enemy's territory and made great achievements. These were all his dreams, to protect his family and country. He was not forced, nor was he forced, but it was something he loved. His career. Because of her, he almost became a traitor. Because of her, he almost died on the deserted island. Because of her, he left the military. How could she bear to put him in danger again? Wu Nian wiped her tears and turned over. She didn't even have the appetite to eat and curled up. Perhaps Gu Lingqing would be very sad and tormented during this period, but it would be fine after this period. When the past feelings were consumed, separation would be a relief. Wu Nian lay for half an hour before someone knocked on the door. She got up from the bed and opened the door when she saw it was the waiter. "Dear customer, your order is steak," the waiter said respectfully. Wu Nian was surprised. "I didn't order it, you sent it to the wrong place." "That's right, it was a Mr. Gu who ordered it. He told you not to starve," the waiter explained. Wu Nian understood that it was Gu Lingqing who ordered it. How did he know that she didn't order it? "I understand, thank you," Wu Nian said. The waiter pushed the cart in and opened the lid. Inside were steak, vegetable salad, foie gras, and a glass of red wine. Wu Nian ate his steak while studying Gu Lingqing's proposal. If there was something she didn't understand, she would do it. She would memorize the key points, especially the reasons to convince Mo Shui to cooperate. Just as he finished eating, his phone rang. She saw it was Stephen and answered. "Where are you?" Mo Shui called and asked me to come over, Stephen said. "I'm at the hotel. I'll wait for you in the lobby." Wu Nian put the proposal in her bag, tidied up her hair, applied some honey cream, foundation, eyeliner, mascara, and lipstick, and hurried downstairs. Stephen was already there, dressed casually, accompanied by his butler, who had brought his painting tools. "Sorry, I'm late," Wu Nian apologized. "It's okay, we just arrived." Stephen looked her up and down. "I thought you were really beautiful yesterday. No man could resist you." Wu Nian, in other words, she wasn't pretty today. When Stephen mentioned yesterday, she remembered what had happened on the top floor. She blushed and lowered her head. A luxurious Rolls-Royce drove over. The butler opened the door. Stephen sat in the back seat, and Wu Nian sat next to him. The butler sat in the front passenger seat. Stephen looked at Wu Nian again. Wu Nian felt uncomfortable being stared at. She asked, "Is there something on my face?" "The dress is beautiful." "It suits you very well," Stephen said with a smile. "Thank you," Wu Nian said politely. "Haha." Stephen laughed. "Alan called me this morning and asked about you. You know my situation better than I do." "You didn't call him?" Stephen asked. "I woke up too late. I just had lunch, so I didn't have time," Wu Nian explained. "Really?" "Ha ha ha." Stephen laughed again. Wu Nian felt that his laughter was weird, so she didn't want to talk to him anymore. She turned her face away and looked out of the window. She would deal with Alan sooner or later, but not now. She would wait until she went to Mo Shui's place. After driving for half an hour, they arrived at Mo Shui's castle. There were 2 expressionless guards at the door. The driver was sent by Mo Shui to pick Stephen up. After a quick check, he let them in. Mo Shui's castle was very dreamy. There was a garden of roses and roses inside the door. Normal roses would start to wither in September, but the flowers here were blooming and full of fragrance. After entering the garden, they saw the retro design of the courtyard and the lake. After driving for another 3 minutes, they finally arrived at the majestic old castle. Mo Shue's butler was already waiting for them at the door. Wu Nian followed Stephen in. They walked through a long corridor before they reached the door of the main hall. Before entering, she heard the laughter of young girls. The guard opened the door. She saw Mo Shue, Avril, a man she didn't know, and Gu Lingqing. She didn't expect Gu Lingqing to be here. Surprised, she walked in with her head down. Mo Shue looked at Stephen and said in disdain, "When did you change from an artist to a lobbyist? You even brought someone here to paint. I was afraid that you would be cheated, so I introduced a reliable person to you." Stephen sat down in front of Mo Shue. "You are the one who cheated me the most. Let's not discuss whether you cheated me or I cheated you first. You talk to her first." Stephen picked up the orange on the table and peeled it. Mo Shue rolled her eyes at Stephen and said to Wu Nian indifferently, "Come with me. There are too many irrelevant people here." Everyone knew that Mo Shue was referring to Stephen when she said outsiders. Stephen didn't show any strange expression and continued to eat his orange. Wu Nian followed Mo Shue to her study. Mo Shue sat on the sofa and spun around. She looked at Wu Nian lazily. "Since Stephen introduced you, I'll give you a chance. 19, I'll get 9, and you get 1. If the ratio is not like this, no way." Wu Nian smiled. "Do you know how many jewelers there are in Country A? Does it have anything to do with me?" Mo Shue said arrogantly. "Mo Shue, you're interested in the market of Country A because of the spending power of the people there. Country A has been developing rapidly in the past 2 years. The annual sales of luxury goods exceed 800 billion, and jewelry occupies 65% of the market. The profits in Country A are very good." "So?" Mo Shue shrugged. "My company can occupy 80% of the market because the boss behind my company is a top figure in the political and social circle of Country A. We hope to split it 50-50. The details are in the proposal." Wu Nian passed the proposal to Mo Shue. Mo Shue took it and glanced at it. She sneered, "The jewelry is mine, and the designer is mine too. You're just helping me buy it, and you want 50% of the profits? Isn't it too much? When a movie is produced and broadcasted, the sales platform usually wants 60% of the sales." Wu Nian reminded, "You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."